is a tank.
Alright, damn it, I'll do Thea, whatever. Well, I'm renaming her.
Wait a minute, where did the rest of my counters go? Did they all fall?
I can rename
What's her name?
Thea.
Just call her Theon. It'll be about the same.
Right.
Can I rename my character? Am I allowed?
Sure.
Great.
Alright.
I don't think we're really attached to names for this.
All right.
Let's see where the rest of these
What else you got?
counters
I don't want
went.
to play the halfling.
Why?
Rogues are complicated.
Rogues are complicated.
Yeah, they're complicated. Brandis, male human fighter. Human fighter.
Oh, there they went.
You want a wizard?
Yeah, I'll play the whiz. At least I can toss spells around.
I'm gonna need a pad and a pencil. Got any more of these?
3,
There's another one over here.
4. Can I have it, please? 5, 6.
Why don't you take that one?
There's this ass monkey.
All right. Well, what are we doing here? 4E, right?
I got out
Yes.
pencil. We can share.
Thanks.
Good enough.
Do you have
Here's
any more
Blue
pencils?
can. Do I have any more pencils?
Yes, Jim.
Let me see.
And can I beg you for coffee?
I don't have coffee.
Jeff, you didn't bring coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
I did have coffee delivered.
No.
What? What's wrong with having coffee delivered? You can tell we're professionals here.
Thank you, sir.
You already got a pencil. Oh. You need some dice?
Oh, I've got them.
Okay.
My dice bag somehow didn't make it into my travel bag tonight. Got everything else, though.
Alrighty. Well, this is 4E. We'll let Jeff make an official
All right.
announcement. Lucan, level 2. Boy, this is a lot. I got 3 spells.
What are your spells?
Illusory obstacles. Shield. Fountain of flame. Suggestion light, ghost sound, beguiling strands. Magic missile.
Magic missile.
I got magic missile.
So I want you to check this out. This is my character sketch. All right. This first strange thing, she's wearing this Batman mask. It is a mask because she's got a little chin guard there, right?
I see.
It's got these squiggly like tear things. I'm not sure what that's about. And she's wearing a belt buckle with some broccoli on it. I'm not sure why that is.
It's a ancient elven clan logo.
It's broccoli?
Broccoli, yes, absolutely.
Hey, what you want to do?
Very,
You
very,
wanna hold
very
it right
vicious
here.
farts.
Okay.
Hold on. Is that showing up now?
A little bit farther back.
A little bit farther back. Let me a little more light on it.
Broccoli.
It is. It's broccoli.
To my left.
Yeah. Sorry, right?
I mean, you're right.
It's definitely not cauliflower.
There we go.
No.
Beautiful.
Okay.
This come with the 4E set.
This was from Worldwide D&D Game Day.
Worldwide D&D Game Day. I remember those.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This is classic stuff. 2010. Illustration by Larry Elmore.
They reused the artwork that Elmore and a couple of other artists did from the old red box era of D&D. They even packaged a new 4th edition starter box using the red box trade dress. The 1983 Frank Menser red box. So, let us see here. We have the wizard. What is she? What is Thea?
She is a rogue.
A rogue.
Thea Eve is her name. Thea.
And you're playing Brandis?
Of House Broccoli.
Yes.
House
Okay.
Broccoli.
So, one fighter,
Famous for making
one
movies.
wizard, one thief.
Yes.
Sounds doable.
Yeah, it sounds like an OD&D game.
All right.
It's a
So,
little cartoon on Saturday, yeah.
fear not, Ranger. So,
This is 4E.
yes, this is the 4th edition of Dungeons and Dragons.
Everybody hated it. Well, maybe not everybody. I didn't hate it. I never played it.
Okay.
I love 4th edition D&D. It's fantastic.
No,
So,
that's not the kind of energy we want. We want negative, critical, derogatory.
and
Well,
why
it
is
just come
that,
naturally.
Why are we
Because 4E was horrible.
in your opinion?
In my opinion, yes. In my opinion, and in a lot of other people's opinions. I think I represent a consensus here.
The problem with 4E, it was, in some people's opinion, oversimplified, and it granted a positive attempt to try to make the game flow better by simplifying a lot of the things like combat and that, but that kind of, it was too simplified in some people's opinions.
Well, it was more video gamey, like you guys said earlier. It does play a lot like an MMO. So, the things you'll need to know. First of all, there's no cleric at the table, which in a previous edition would probably lead to certain death. However, you can all heal yourselves.
We can.
Once per encounter. You can take, as an action, instead of attacking, a second wind. The second wind will heal a quarter of your own hit points and give you +2 on all your defenses until your next turn.
+2 on defense.
So wait a second. Even 4th edition has universal healthcare, and we don't?
Yes.
Okay.
So, without a cleric, you guys will still be able to, and between combats, there's a little thing in your character sheet that say healing surges.
Yeah.
That is your ability to heal yourself between long rests. When you sleep for a night, that's a long rest. Short rest is what happens between combats. During a short rest, you can pop as many of those little boxes as you want to get back your surge value, which in the case of Lucan the Wizard is 6 hit points, 1/4 of Lucan's total hit points. So, even without a cleric, if you can just get through the combat, you can heal yourselves. Once you are out of healing surges for the day, though, that's it. And that's how these characters die, is running out of healing surges and then getting dropped to 0 hit points. When you are at 0 hit points, you guys can help each other out by making a heal check. A heal check on a downed character allows them to pop a healing surge and get back on their feet.
Jeez, this sounds like a medical adventure.
Exactly.
We're all
I
doctors
just
running
missed
around.
the last thing you said because I was writing. What?
So, you can each help each other get back on your feet by making a heal check.
Okay.
That takes your action, but it allows the person that's at 0 hit points to pop one of their healing surges and get back on their feet. You make death saves. When you're at 0 hit points, when your initiative comes up, you roll a death save. You fail 3 and you're dead. You roll a natural 20 and you've actually kind of bounced back on your own. You have 1 hit point and you're back on your feet.
This is very useful in, let's say.
Fail 3 death saves, though, and you are dead.
I'm going to forget everything you just said, but okay.
Indeed.
It's all on the card right here.
And every day, or every combat, every round, you each get 3 actions. A move action, where you can move up to your speed, and there's a couple of different things you can do. You can run and get 2 extra spaces, but that screws with your attack rolls, and you grant combat advantage, which is a bad thing. Combat advantage gives you +2 to hit bad guys, and bad guys +2 to hit you.
Basically, it's like running
Head
head
first into Bruce Lee.
Yes,
Better.
and you, as the thief, when someone grants you combat advantage, you can do terrible things to. Oh, goody! That's when you get your sneak attack damage, and that character also has an ability on her character sheet for backstab. That is a once per encounter thing, but it dumps even more damage.
Okay.
So you really want to use that when you can. How do we get combat advantage? Well, flank the other.
I'm so glad I asked.
These
Yes,
are
hexes. How do we get combat advantage?
If that's a bad guy, 2 good guys on opposite sides, this creature is now granting both of these combat advantage. So, which reminds me,
You get combat advantage if you're taken by surprise, like you said, right?
yes,
And what about if you're just outnumbered?
no, they have to flank you to cause combat advantage to happen.
Okay.
If you're outnumbered, that's bad, but it doesn't necessarily force combat advantage quite yet. All right, so what do we got? We have a wizard. We have an elf. Female elf?
Yes. Or I'm sorry.
Yes.
Va va voom.
All right, and the wizard is
The House of Broccoli ignores your cattle calls.
the cattle.
think.
Trying to find markers for you guys. Those are dragonborn. Something I never quite could get used to. All of these newfangled races that are not elves, dwarves, halflings, gnomes.
I'm just gonna imagine my character is Claudia Black in tight leather armor. If that's okay.
Sure. Okay. You need to run to the head for that, or is it?
No, I have lots of stock memory up here.
Got it.
Farscape? Never? No.
Oh yes.
She should always be on TV. Like,
well, and in the
all
last couple of seasons of SG1 too, but
yeah. And the woman doesn't age.
Fargate.
yeah,
Fargate.
yeah, because they had Ben Browder too, so why not?
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, come on. There's got to be something in here that will approximate a wizard.
Well, Lucan's a male elf wizard. You're a female
Oh!
rogue.
Elf
wizard.
rogue.
Male elf wizard. There we go.
Female elf rogue.
Female elf rogue.
Andy, what race are you? Are you human or
Human fighter.
Human fighter.
So no short people.
And a human fighter.
All right, there's the three of us.
All right, now, the side of the token makes a difference. The gold means you're kind of shiny and happy with your hit points. When the token flips over and is circled by red, that is called bloodied, and it indicates that you are at half or less of your hit points.
That's why it says bloodied in a number on my card.
Exactly. The monsters also will do this. So you can tell when you're hurting a monster when it flips over to its bloodied side. And that has some effects. Certain dragons and other creatures only do certain things when they're bloodied.
Like what?
Like, for instance, a black dragon, when brought down to bloodied, will start bleeding acid so that any creature adjacent to it takes acid damage.
Bleeding acid.
Also like aliens. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Very much like Alien. Black dragons are not fun. Not fun at all. All right, so we've got everything set up. You guys each have a token to represent yourselves. And I need to grab that.
What world are we in?
The
Jeff's
Forgotten
World?
Realms.
Forgotten Realms.
Yes.
I used to know about those, but I forgot.
Ed Greenwood was hoping you would. Then you have to buy his book.
Oh, see how that would be. Yeah. Okay.
So, it's your first job as a group. And the best part is that you get to travel back to Neverwinter free of charge. You've been hired by a half-elf female named Seldra to be her bodyguards on a sea voyage from Waterdeep. She's transporting a modest-sized box that, she says, holds an item of great importance to her. It will be up to you to ensure that no one attempts to separate her from the coffer, either during the trip or when the ship makes port in Neverwinter. She is offered to pay you a fee of 300 gold pieces each, with the first half payable immediately and the rest upon being delivered safely to Neverwinter.
Well, it's a box, and it's
Indeed.
transportable by a single person.
By a single person. The box itself is 6 inches wide, 6 inches long, and 2 inches deep. It's made of reinforced wood, and she rarely lets it leave her side.
And she's not going to tell us what's inside, is she?
You've got you're a fighter with, and you got some pretty cumbersome armor on probably, and you're contending with a lot. So I will. You're a mage, right?
Right.
Right. So you're not going to be encumbered as well. So I'll volunteer to hold the money for us.
Okay. That sounds like a good idea.
In response to your question,
Yes.
Seldra says, I shouldn't tell you what's in the box, partly for your own good. Suffice to say that the object is of ultimate importance to me. Guards do not always need to know what they've been hired to protect, and that's the case here.
Well, are you going to keep it on your person all the time?
She says, that's my plan.
And then you're going to stay indoors off deck all the time?
Also the plan.
All right.
How big is this coffer?
6 inches by 6 inches by 2 inches deep.
And she's got it, what, slung around her neck or something? Or
She has got it in a belt sling.
that's
Ooh.
not safe.
Sounds like you can just cut the cord.
Yeah, I'll be doing several pickpocket attempts during the course of the game tonight.
Okay.
I don't have a detect magic spell.
Not to steal it, to get a peek at what it is. And put it back without her noticing.
Yeah.
See.
Which one? No.
All right. So you want to give that a shot once the ship is underway?
I'd love to.
All right. Well, the vessel itself is not super large, but it is swift. And after setting out, you find it'll only be a small number of days before reaching Neverwinter. If you want to attempt to get a look at the box, give me a thievery check. Roll a d20 and add your thievery skill bonus.
May I?
Well, of course.
In 4th edition, they pretty much boiled all the thief skills to thievery.
That sounds kind of convenient.
It's kind of broken down. Athletics, bluff, intimidate, perception, stealth, thievery. The thievery, okay.
Pickpocket.
So add
Add the thievery bonus.
20.
Was that a natural 20?
It's a natural 20.
Well, outstanding. Seldra has to sleep sometime.
Yeah.
And you manage to get your hands on the coffer while she's fast asleep. What would you like to do with it?
Well, maybe I might want to check
So
it for
I'm
traps.
very specific. Okay. Yes, thank you. That's a good idea. Is he with me, though?
Is he?
Okay, I don't know what's going on.
Well, that's a good idea. I mentally got your message. So my goal here is, first of all, okay, I would have done that anyway. First of all, is I don't really want to remove it if I don't have to. I just want to get it out just enough to see what's inside and then put it back.
Okay.
So I do want to check for locks or traps or something like that.
All right. So.
Or is that covered under my 20 plus my additional 10?
That
Am I being greedy?
That's actually pretty. Yeah, that was a pretty sweet thievery check. It does not look to be trapped. It does have a lock built into the box, and the lock will require a second thievery check to open.
Okay.
Ooh, this is where you roll poorly. Can you
Never
concentrate?
Never say don't roll 7 at the craps table. Never say that.
Can he take 10?
He could, but it wouldn't.
Okay.
Yes,
I
that's
get
still-
plus 10 anyway.
That
Yeah.
roll's still kicking around.
21.
Total?
Mm-hmm.
Very close. You can hear a couple of the tumblers click, but it's still.
You get a 25.
How many times can I try before I wake her up?
She's still asleep for the moment.
Shit.
I guess we're on our first night. I'm standing out on the deck.
All right.
You completely.
Cut the cussing out, please. Sorry.
Okay. Well, you managed to wake her up.
So I pretend like I was doing something else.
Give me a bluff check. Do you have bluff?
I'm
I
on the
do.
deck. I'm
You're
just
on
hanging out, staring at the
Roll
stars.
better. 8. Wait, what is my bluff plus 6? Is that plus 6? What is this?
Bluff. Where is bluff? Is plus 6.
Plus 6.
8.
An 8. All right.
Well, shitballs.
She's gonna change you into a newt.
She says, I'm paying you to guard me, not to rob me.
I wasn't trying to rob you. It's just, you're really attractive and, you know, I just thought maybe you might be into it.
She says, I'm very flattered. Now get back above deck and keep watch.
Okay. But if you change your mind.
I know where to find you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go to bed, seeing how the female elf has come up here to relieve me of my
watch.
night watch duty. So I'm gonna head on to bed.
All right.
Hey,
Yes.
so can I have a conversation with him?
Sure.
Oh, you want to talk to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I tried to get a look at the box.
Oh, you did. Shh. Oh, what was in it?
I couldn't tell. It's a lock.
You're lying, aren't
I
you? You
couldn't
opened
pick
it
the
up.
lock.
You opened it up. You're not gonna tell me.
No, I couldn't pick the lock.
All
It's
right.
okay. I might try again sometime.
Because you suck.
It's because this die sucks, and he
Ah.
said you're gonna roll low.
Ah.
Roll a natural 20. He goes, "Don't roll low. Oh, you're gonna roll low now." And then I.
It's dice juju.
It is.
All right.
Jinxed it.
Gotta train them. That's why I'm training them over here.
Yeah.
Can I use your 20 next time?
Train the
I
dice.
don't know.
I don't
You
believe
might
in this 20
put your bad
dice
juju on
training
it.
thing.
It's true.
Okay.
Probably a wisest.
All right.
All right.
The rest of the evening passes without incident. There are no other ships to be seen, and your vessel sails northward without being interrupted.
Are we the only ones on this?
There's a few sailors, but as far as passengers, the three of you and Seldra are the only passengers.
So sailors, like, is there a captain, or they just
I have a new
menial
plan.
sailors?
Next night I'm
Sailors.
trying, by the way, just so you know. Keep that in your head.
Well, I got
I
a
have a
wand.
new plan.
I got a wand. What does my wand do?
New plan.
The wand is your casting focus.
All right, so it's a foci.
Mm-hmm.
Foci.
How do we feel about the captain?
He seems an honest sort. Seldra seems to trust him. He's a half-elf, much as Seldra is, and he and his crew kind of keep to themselves. The cook brings your meals, and that's about it. They don't seem unfriendly. They just seem very businesslike.
Does he look wealthy?
Not really. This ship appears to be his private property, and as he only owns the one, he's kind of the Dungeons and Dragons equivalent of a truck driver who happens to own his own truck.
I see.
He's
She's
sort
the
of
only
it's the
passenger
Pork
of
Chop
import.
Express, right?
She's the only passenger of import.
Yes.
Okay.
And you know what Jack Burton always says. So, the next couple of days pass.
No.
Now, you were going to try again the next night?
I have a new plan.
You have a new plan.
See, this time, trying to unlock it in front of her was a mistake. This time I'm going to roll to take it. Then I'm going to go to my room.
Are you telling me this?
No.
Well, you should
Telling
talk to
him
one
this.
of us before you start going off on the crazy plans like
I'm a
this.
crazy female thief.
All right.
Because
By
she
definition.
still owes you the other half of your pay, you know. I wouldn't
Yeah.
piss her off. But
Yeah.
that's just me.
Well, he's not going to get paid. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, go on with your plan. I think it's a good idea.
How? You know? You gonna do it? I see you reaching for the die.
Come on, man. We got to get some crazy energy going on in this game.
I'm not, you
If
know
we
what?
just
I'm
go
not-
by the book, then it's kind
I
of
want to
tedious.
so bad.
It's kind of
You know
tedious.
you want to.
You want to break out of the mold a little
You know
bit.
you want to.
No, I'm not going all in on Doyle Brunson. Sorry. No, it's okay.
All
I'm
right.
good.
Well, I wish I had some kind of way of helping you out, because if you talk to me, I might be able to help you out.
Oh, wait. I'll choose another time.
You'll choose another time?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there's about 2 more days left to the sea voyage. What sort of plan would you like to execute? What time would you choose?
Well, probably when she's asleep or incapacitated again.
Oh.
Maybe when she's going to the bathroom.
She never takes it off, right?
Normally, no. Normally, no.
I think what it is,
Well, I'll try to keep an eye out just in case she ever does.
All right. Give me a perception check.
God, all these checks. Could you touch my die? Because I think you jinxed it. Just thank you very much.
don't roll low.
That probably just screwed it up.
Dang nabbit, Jim.
Here,
You're dead.
I'll put that one on a 1. I've trained it for you.
That's your fault.
What did you roll?
That's your fault.
You
I rolled a 4
That's a 4.
for perception and plus 10, 14.
14. All right. So you do notice when she goes to visit what passes for facilities on the ship.
It's just a hole in the back.
Yeah, more or less.
Poop deck. I thought you just pooped on
The poop deck.
It's more like the.
Well,
captain's
I won't
chambers.
go into the etymology of the head, but yes. So she makes a head call, and you don't see the telltale shape of the box under her garments. So what would you like to do?
So the head that she's in, is that in her room or near her?
No.
bunk,
The ship is not that luxurious by far. There is one set of lady-capable facilities on this boat. Everything else is just kind of go overboard.
Did I see her remove it?
If she did it in the privacy of her little cubicle area.
Right. Well, I will go check the little cubicle area very quickly.
All right.
Perception.
No need. Like you root around a little and find that she has shoved it and a couple of other things up under the hammock that she's been sleeping in.
Well, I don't have a lot of time. I will do one pick lock check. If I don't make it, I'll put
Go
it back
for it.
and leave.
Roll high.
20. See? Shut up.
Is that a natural 20?
It's a natural 20.
That's the second time tonight.
You're wasting them all.
I wouldn't be too mad at that die.
Okay.
So, you managed to pick the lock. The little coffer opens up.
What's inside?
It's a snake. It bites you.
It's just a golden.
I just
want
wanna see what it is. I don't wanna take it.
Up and that's it.
There is a velvet pillow, upon which is a circlet made of shining mithril inlaid with sapphires.
I close that box and put. Is that it? Right. So it's a ring.
Well, it's a circlet.
Crown.
6 by 6 inches. 6 by 6 inches. So it's a tiara.
Yes.
All right.
No,
Put it-
it's a circle.
Well, it's a circlet, but
Meanwhile, I
not
put
a
this
crown.
sucker back where it
it's
was.
not a tiara.
and
It's a
get out.
circlet.
okay. So now you know what's in there.
Yes.
We don't know what's in. Hey, what's in that?
They
box?
don't know what's in there. You
I'm
know
not
what's
going
in
to tell them.
You haven't told me anything. I'm
just.
completely oblivious.
there. That's
just-
because you're
Well,
a
you
dirty
won't talk to
thief.
me.
I'm staring at the stars.
How do I know what you're doing?
He's
We're
looking
here
at
to
the.
guard the box. I don't
Captain.
think you're going in the box.
What are you doing? At this time.
He's-
I'm on the deck watching the crew because I'm suspicious of them for some strange reason.
See, I
have
watch the
nothing else to
stars.
do.
He watches the crew.
You watch the stars. He watches. The
I'm gonna go
crew.
talk to him.
Okay, go for it.
Just in case something comes flying in.
By
out
the
of
way,
nowhere.
since you brought up Farscape, now that's what I'm imagining her as is like Gina,
Okay.
and you know how she is.
Yes.
Yep.
Do you need a blue pen to color your picture with?
Yeah, no,
Gray, right?
Well,
great.
Yeah. depends on what TV you're watching her on. All right.
You got a broke TV.
Right. I thought she was light blue.
No, she's gray.
So,
And she has strange shading around the cleavage area because even a shadow is like it's not a light thing. It's just she's natural like that, which makes you wonder.
All right, that's enough of you. Now we're
Right.
live.
so
Uh-huh.
you guys were talking,
Right.
Oh, we're just
We're
hanging out.
talking.
hopefully about creatures that exist in the D&D world.
Well, there's a thing called a dragon turtle. It's a really big dragon that's
So what you
in
doing?
the sea. He doesn't want to talk to me.
I'm watching the crew. They seem
She
alright.
doesn't want to talk to the elf. She
Yeah,
wants
then
to
nobody
talk to
seems
the human.
suspicious.
I don't know. The captain seems alright. I haven't seen anything suspicious though. Think that they're friends.
Anybody look like they have anything of value?
No.
Does he have anything of value?
I mean, armor, sword, all of that's valuable.
Purse or something. I'm not above robbing them
I mean,
on this journey.
I
I'm
guess
just saying.
I have a purse, but I don't see one on.
Well,
the
I mean,
card.
you know he's got at least 150 gold.
I don't want to hold up the game. I'll save that for later.
I mean, kudos for playing a thief the way you play a thief.
I'm just saying
Or
I'm
at
not
least
above
a
robbing them.
kleptomaniac.
Or at least a kleptomaniac. However, you guys did remind me there is something else that I forgot to toss out there.
Which is
This is the 4th edition of D&D, so everybody gets an action point. What is an action point? It allows you to take an extra action when you spend it.
Cool.
So if you guys get into combat, once per fight, you can spend that action point to take an additional action.
Go ahead.
So we don't swallow these.
No.
All right.
Do we throw them at you when we take an action? Or
No, just toss them,
throw
in
them
a
in the
well,
kitty, in the pot?
yeah. And here's a card describing how second wind works for each of you.
Second wind.
Don't forget your second wind. You dig into your resolve and endurance to find an extra burst of vitality. Hut, 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 hut. Once per encounter as a standard action, you can spend a healing surge to regain hit points. You gain a +2 bonus to all defenses until the start of your next turn. If you're a dwarf,
Can you read this?
you can use your second wind as a minor
I
action.
can read it.
Well, I'm just for the audience,
Yes.
just trying to make a.
All right.
Got yourself
Like half orc
there.
there. I got third wind.
Third wind.
That would be Pope Pius would
Hey,
be appearing on there.
You could break wind. All right.
Looky there.
It's nice.
It's a ship.
That's pretty fancy.
Indeed it is. So on the 4th day of the voyage, the lookout cries, "Neverwinter, ho!" and your destination gradually draws into view. First, you see the castle, or the tall towers.
Didn't have
Okay.
that?
You see the tall towers of Castle Never, half covered with ash and half gleaming in the morning light. Towers and keeps sweep down the bluff toward a crescent-shaped dock that moves from well-built in the south to ramshackle in the north. Even at this distance, you can make out the forest of scaffolding that encompasses many of the buildings in the southwest quarter of the city. Neverwinter is a city being repaired even as you watch. In a few more minutes, the crew will have the ship lashed to the dock and a gangplank in place. Then you can set foot on Neverwinter ground and officially complete your mission.
So my takeaway from that was construction going on, a lot of distracted people.
Yes.
Yay!
There was a volcanic eruption that laid waste to a lot of Neverwinter about 20 years ago, and it's still being rebuilt. So, Seldra seems visibly relieved that the journey is over. "I'm grateful that you accompanied me," she tells you, "and also that your services were not put to the test. Let us disembark so that we can settle up your payment." Then, before anyone can take a step, the ship begins to lurch. The murky water roils beneath you, and green bloated corpses climb out of the bay, scaling the sides of the ship. Skeletons stripped bare of flesh clatter up around you, wielding rusty blades. Crew members and other bystanders dive into the water to get away, or back away from the edge of the docks, prepared to take off running if the undead creatures come ashore. However, the monsters appear to have no interest in any of those people. They've come for you.
I think I'm just going to stand there while the GM reads and let the skeletons attack me.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that.
You're not going to do
I'm
that?
going to do something
Place are-
different.
Where are we and where is...
All right.
Is the gangplank there?
The gangplank is indeed.
I'm guessing it's that.
All right. So,
Yeah, I'd like to know where these
I think he's getting ready to put stuff on the
dudes
map.
are.
I am. 2 skeletons are here at the gangplank. Oh,
You said you were going to use creatures that were in the D&D world, and now you're borrowing from Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm just pointing that out.
It's just like Pirates of the Caribbean. Caribbean. Caribs.
Who are these people?
They say
the
that's
Carib pilot pirates.
Carib.
Where, that's where they say the barbecue came from.
They're from those parents that won't let you have chocolate pirates.
Well, no wonder they're angry and attacking.
No chocolate for you.
It's Carib. It's nature's chocolate. All right.
There's one on every
Chocolate is
square.
nature's chocolate.
They just surround the boat and climb up on
They
the side.
climb up the boat. So your start area is from here to here.
I want to start right in front of the gangplank.
Okay, you're the human fighter. You want to start here?
Yep.
Okay.
I'd like to start right next to the human fighter.
Excellent. You're the elven wizard?
Yes.
All right. And where would the thief like to start?
Now, those other tokens are all skeleton-y people.
Zombie, 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 skeletons.
Oh, geez. Well, I'm gonna. I guess I'll go and get the 2 behind them.
Wait, which ones? Here?
Uh-huh.
Oh, so you guys are all starting close to one another. Excellent.
Well, that makes the most sense.
Where's what's her name with the valuable
She-
object?
Is right here coming up. Actually, she was talking to you guys. So I'll put her closer to you.
All right.
All right. So the next thing that happens is we roll initiative. So that's a D20.
All right.
And then there should be an initiative.
Party
bonus.
or individual?
As you were, individual initiative. So
You should have an initiative bonus on your card at the top. Next to your AC.
Initiative +7. What'd you roll?
15.
with your bonus.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I got a 27.
That die is like either 20 or less than 10.
Okay.
You need to warm it up.
Who's got a
Roll it once and then
27?
roll it.
Thea had a what? 14?
Yes'm.
And Brannis?
Looks like I am a 22.
22. Excellent.
Oh, look, you got a little chart. That's nice.
Yeah, this thing is totally useful, and I haven't used it in like years. All right. These are like little magnets.
Ooh.
Well, that sucked. For them.
I'm gonna smash through the skeletons and then get out of here.
Right.
I mean, they're skeletons.
Then tip the. Of
Or
course,
the
they can
zombies.
climb up out of the water though.
Yeah.
Onto the dock.
Yeah, how fast do zombies run though?
That's true. They don't run very
Oh.
fast. Skeletons are kind of quick.
Unless you're in one of those terrible zombie movies where they do.
Or you're playing GURPS.
That's more like.
Or you're
ghouls.
playing GURPS.
And then they're fast as shit.
Oh.
What is the action point allows us to do so we can run more in the round if we use? An
You
action
can
point?
take an extra action. It can be a move action. It can be a
I can cast another spell.
yes.
All right. Guess
Is
I-
there anything around me that I could use to my advantage? Like, I don't know, something being held up by a pulley that could smash into the zombie or skeleton? Or
Ah, that's a great question. Things like that can certainly happen. And some modules include stuff like that. Like what happens when you dump over the brazier full of coals? Oh, it does this much damage. From where you're standing.
I'm not interested in the module. I'm interested in what's in your imagination.
Ah, products of your imagination. So, TSR hobbies. From where you're standing,
Yes. Yes.
there is some tackle used to haul cargo up out of this cargo hatch that you're
Excellent.
standing on.
Can I go bowling for monsters?
Sure.
However, I go first.
Oh yeah. So on 20, like what were your initiative? 27.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I need to flip these back around then. You go first.
Yeah. So there's a skeleton on the gangway right there.
Yes, there's
Zombie.
two of them.
I'm gonna use an action point, and I'm gonna cast 2 magic missiles and do 12 hit points of damage to the skeleton.
Zombie.
No, this is a skeleton.
Oh,
These
those
are both skeletons.
Yes.
I thought there were zombies in front of
The
them.
one right in front of you.
Yeah.
All right, it's toast.
All right. Did one seem to be able to knock it out?
Oh yeah,
Well, then can I use the other magic missile on the other
sure.
skeleton? All right.
Those skeletons both go up in a blaze of glory.
Nicely done.
All right.
Well done.
This is what wizards are for in 4th edition. Okay, that's your action. You still have a move action.
Well, then I move across the gangplank onto the dock.
Sure. What's your speed?
7.
7. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You've
That's
got.
fine.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So where did that guy come from? Ah, here he is. Okay. Over here, a figure appears from the crowd and fires a bow.
Ooh. We got Robin Hood popping out of nowhere. Or is he shooting that bow at me?
He seems much more interesting. He seems much more interested in Seldra.
So he's trying to hit Seldra with a bow. Okay.
Yes, he is.
All right.
So he takes a shot at Seldra. He's got a range of 20. Yes, he's within 20. Nope, that's a miss. All right. So he fires an arrow. It sticks in the mast.
Okay.
Next, he moves
To there.
to there. Brannis, you're next.
How far away is that guy from me?
from you.
Yeah.
10. 10 spaces.
Awesome. I'm gonna put myself into Battle Fury stance,
Okay.
and I am going to. Oh, that's just for melee weapons. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I'm gonna do a range basic attack with a javelin, and the first range is 10.
Okay. Roll the attack. It's a D20 plus your dex bonus and level.
What do we got here? 20 points total.
Oh, so you hit AC 20?
Yes.
That's a hit. Roll damage, please. Fascinating.
That will be 13 damage.
Nice.
Dang.
Dice are being nice tonight.
They are being nice. I was training them earlier.
How do you train a die?
Well, you put
All
it on
right.
the highest number, and then you just stare
You
at
put
it.
that javelin straight into this guy, and he like grunts and staggers. You did a fair amount of damage.
Will you say that he's bloodied?
Not quite yet.
Okay, well, I got 2 more.
All right. Thea, you're next.
Yes.
Yeah, but he steps back 5 feet. So now
I like to
11
pull
away.
some Disney BS on these guys.
Okay, what would you like to do?
Well, so you said there was a
Yeah, there's like
Winch.
cargo winch, cargo crane kind of
Okay.
things.
I would like to grab one, cut a hold of whatever's holding it,
Okay.
and
Have a yard arm fall down on him with a sail attached to it, so they're all tangled up in the sail.
I kind of wanted the hook to hit him. I wanted the hook to hit the zombie
Oh,
in the head,
so
but
you-
that's probably pretty hard to do.
All right, so you want to
I'd call that a ranged attack. It's
Really?
creative.
Yeah.
Okay,
You could
yeah,
probably
and I'll
just
take a second
swing it.
action after that, but that's what the first thing I'm going to do.
All right, so roll your d20, add your dex bonus.
And Malevolent?
Yes, in half level, so dex bonus +1. These should all be second level characters.
Yeah, that's what I
Natural 20.
So that's a critical hit.
Yay!
with a winch.
and
crit-
can you
So I
explain
would-
What
I think
happens
he's
with
getting ready to explain it.
what happens with criticals in 4th edition? In 4th edition, a critical hit means automatic maximum damage. So I was going to give you a d6 plus your dex bonus for damage, so you'll do 6 plus what?
5.
5? Yeah, this skeleton goes.
Crunch.
You get the hook right in its forehead. It swings off the boat and then kind of comes apart into the water.
I was going for the zombie's head.
Oh, you were going for the zombie.
The zombie's head with the hook. Is what I said.
Oh, the zombie's head. I thought you were going for the skeleton because he was in front of you. The zombie, that's a horse of a different color.
Oh, could I not?
Still
have done
No,
that?
no, no. You've got it. You've got it, and you did maximum damage. But
Now he's on a.
now
It's
he's on
funny
a.
if he's still alive because I was trying to crit him in the head.
Yeah, but he's on a hook. He can't. He's like it's like one of those comic zombie scenes from one of the zombie movies.
Yeah.
He's on a hook and he can't move anywhere. He keeps running
The
forward.
head trauma doesn't kill him.
No, he's out here on a rope
Where did the hook get him?
in the head.
Yeah.
He's
that's
flailing.
beautiful.
Oh yeah. It's beautiful.
Hanging on a hook, flailing, you did maximum damage. So that was Thea. The skeletons act next.
Do I get a second action if I want to?
If you want to spend your action point.
I do. I'd like to find a way to set him on fire. Do I have anything in my inventory to set
Set
him
who
on
on
fire?
fire?
Never mind. I'm gonna take a pass at the skeleton.
Okay. With?
It says I have a short sword, so I'll try to go for the midsection and just,
All right. Make a melee basic attack.
which is a strength bonus.
Yes.
13.
Okay. Skeleton has a AC of 16, so that is a miss.
Ah, okay.
All right. And now the skeletons act.
I'll enjoy.
The skeletons have a speed of 6.
What about what's her name? When did she go?
Oh, and do we get a move too? I don't get a move.
She goes at the bottom of the round. Well, you do get a move action. Just remember. All right, so explaining movement when there's a monster next to you. You can always shift, which is a 1 hex move. Or 1 hex, 1 square move.
Take a 5-foot step.
Yeah, if you leave a threatened square without shifting, they get an attack of opportunity. So you could shift here, whatever. But if you just walk away using your full speed, that skeleton will get
And
a...
it's okay to do it even though I spent my action already.
Yeah, because you haven't moved.
Okay, so
It's a move, a minor, and a standard action.
all I'm going to do is if this is skeleton and I'm here, I'll shift here.
Here?
Yeah, so he's not facing me to kind of make it harder for him to
Okay.
gimme.
All right. So, the other skeletons now move. Their speed
of here.
is...
They're quick. Skeletons are usually
Speed is 6.
agile and quick. Zombies are slow and
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These stairs are difficult terrain. They take 2 spaces of movement each. 1, 2, 3, and attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, and attack. These 2 are going to be using bows.
Oh, joy.
All right. The 2 skeletons with their short bows are attacking. One is attacking Brannis, and one is attacking Thea. 16 versus armor class against Brannis, which is probably going to miss.
18 is my armor class.
And nat 20 on Thea. Now, here's the lucky thing about that.
Oh, my.
These are minions. That means they don't roll damage. They simply do damage. 3 whole points. Even on a crit. Poor minions.
It just means they absolutely hit, then, right?
Yeah.
On a crit.
Yeah. And then at the very bottom are zombies and then Seldra.
Oh, yeah, Soldier going to go.
yeah.
This zombie
She's going to summon a dragon and it's going to burn down the whole town.
moves.
Been there, done that.
One,
That's what happens.
They already got an ashy tower.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, and attacks Thea. The zombie is going to attempt to grasp Thea.
So since Dia has a figure on either side,
She is flanked.
is that disadvantage?
That's a combat advantage. That means the zombie gets a +2 to hit.
Okay.
So, it has a bonus now of +6 versus reflex, but your reflex is probably one of your better defenses.
Yes. 17.
Let's see. 9 + 6 is not going to hit it. So the zombie misses. It makes an attempt to reach out and grab you, and you just kind of, woo!
Does it even care about his buddy who's acting like a zombie wind chime right now?
Not really, no.
Don't care, no.
I mean, zombies, they just don't care, man. They're kind of dicks.
This zombie,
They are dicks, yeah.
Just don't care.
this zombie is going to try to make a save to land on the deck.
Get 1 foot on the
A
deck.
9, that's failed.
Trying to get his toe on
So the zombie is still swinging out here and unable to do anything.
It's hilarious.
So good.
This zombie moves up. 1, 2, 3. Actually, he'll stop here because this would be...
Ray.
That zombie is attempting to grab Brannis. With a 9, that's not going to help either.
Like this.
Right. Okay. Seldra pulls back, trying to get away from these creatures. She's got her sword out, and she's trying to guard the box.
Yeah.
All right.
Top of the round.
What's
team.
Top of the round, it's back to Lucan.
All
What's
right.
she wearing, by the way?
Leather armor. And,
Just leather
and
armor.
robes.
I'm going to zap that rogue dude down there with a magic missile.
Wait, which one?
The guy who shot an arrow.
She's only wearing leather
Oh,
armor.
okay. So, magic missile automatically hits. What's the damage?
6.
Josh?
Are you feeling
6?
it?
Zot!
I dig it.
He's not down yet?
He is now bloodied.
Ooh, he's bloody now.
All right.
I zotted him in the head.
He takes the next shot, and he's going to try to hit Seldra, but it's going to be difficult because she's up by the stairs.
How does cover work in this game?
Minor covers -2, heavy covers -5.
And how do you
And
determine
that's
that?
a miss. GM Fiat.
Yeah.
Okay.
He misses.
Another arrow hits.
Another arrow hits the mast. All right. That brings us to Brannis.
Well, that zombie that tried to grasp me, I'm going to go ahead and give him a
Punch it in the face.
nice little great sword.
Oh. You have a great sword.
Yes.
That's
he's got a
fun.
great sword.
Yeah.
And
I got a so-so sword. His is great.
what stance did your character? Did you say your
I was
character
in
was
Battle
in?
Fury,
Battle Fury? Okay.
so that's +2 damage.
+2 damage.
If I hit. Let's see how this goes, though. Because it is +11.
Is that a 19?
It's an 18.
18? Yeah, that's gonna. Yeah,
That's going to hit.
that's gonna hit.
Then it is a D10 +11. Let's see. I've been training you. Oh, I trained it well.
What?
That's 21.
21 damage.
Oh, I'm sorry. That may be more than that. It's 10 damage +9 +2. It's 21.
But based
21.
on his reaction, I don't think it matters if it's more.
That thing is bloody as all get out. That was a ridiculously solid hit.
Now, if I don't move, can I attack again?
No, you cannot. You cannot take a. If you use your
If you use the
action
action
point,
point.
yes. But you can trade your standard action for a second move, but you can't. Vice versa.
You can't do 2
You
hits.
You can't trade your move for an attack. That was Brannis. That brings us to Thea.
Oh. Is that skeleton still next to me?
Indeed. There's skeletons to your left, zombies to the right.
Okay. Can I try to just acrobat it overboard?
Sure.
It's like a bull rush.
That
I'm
would
right
be
next to it.
That would be more or less a bull rush. Yes.
I'm right next to it, though.
Well, yeah, but you can still hit it and get rid of it.
Toss it overboard.
Toss it overboard.
climb back
Just
out
make
of
an
the water.
attack.
Okay. I'm not doing a water boy here. I'm just like,
Right. Go for it.
I hate you! Oh, okay. 6,
So-
what's 11 if it's strength?
We need to get you your own dice.
Yeah,
sir.
that's a
we
miss.
We really need to. You need to
All
start
right,
using
so
those.
you attempt to flip the skeleton into the water. It's not having it. The skeleton is grinning at you with its toothy smile, preparing to whack you with a sword. The skeletons get to act now. The skeleton doesn't whack you with a sword.
Yay.
It is +8 versus AC because it's got you flanked. That may
AC
miss
18.
though. Yeah, that's a miss. So that skeleton does its thing. This skeleton attacks Cedra.
I need to get off my girlfriend.
All right, she is hit, and
What?
you see her go down on one knee
No.
She's fragile.
By zombie or skeleton?
by a skeleton, not by a zombie.
Man, it's a good thing that she got missed by all those arrows.
These two skeletons shoot at let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4. They're shooting at Brannis.
I still don't see how an arrow could do damage to a skeleton. I mean, it is a skeleton after all.
Well, there's a force.
Shoot him in the head.
And if it force
22
plants
versus armor
into,
class,
say the skull.
That will hit.
and 15 versus AC will miss.
Yes.
3 damage. Yay, minions!
I might have to take a second win in about 4 or 5 rounds.
All right, that is all the skeletons. That brings us to the Zombinators. This one's gonna make a save to get back on the ship. A 4. It is still flailing around out there.
Awesome.
This one tries to grab you.
Nope.
Okay, let's see. 9
Nope.
plus 6 is 15 versus reflex. You said your reflex was 18, right?
My dexterity is 18. My reflex
No, your
is
reflex
17.
save. Yeah, that's still not quite enough. So it's still reaching for you.
That's joy. Yes.
It must have had arms because it reached out for me. All right. Top of the round, Lucan.
Well, let me see. There's a skeleton right next to her, right?
Yes, right here.
I'm gonna hit it with a magic missile.
The skeleton explodes into bones. It's gone.
So I noticed something on the player cards. This is something
Yes.
different. It looks like the fortitude, reflex, and will saves are based on 2 stat abilities.
Yes,
as
you
opposed
choose
to
the
1.
higher of the 2.
You choose the higher one.
Mhm.
Okay.
Your
So
your
it's not combined.
yeah, each of your defenses is based on one of 2 ability scores. It's the one that is the most in your favor.
Okay.
And so what makes this version of D&D different from the previous ones we've played is that saving throw becomes a standard roll a d10, or as you were, a d20, and on a 10 or better you save, period. There's no, that's just the mechanic. Those, which is what we used to call, like in 3rd edition and 3.5, a fortitude save, a will save, and a reflex save, those become static numbers that the enemy rolls against to hit you. So it's just like armor class, but for different types of attack.
Okay.
That way, it reduces the amount of die rolling to kind of speed things up a little bit. You're grinning. I don't like that.
Elven accuracy.
Yeah, you get to change your.
You make an attack roll, dislike the result, effect, re-roll the attack roll.
And how often can you use that?
Does it say at will encounter or
Free
over
personal
here on the end?
Encounter.
That means you can use it every fight. Every time you get in a fight, you can use that again and again.
At will
and
is
again.
every round. Encounter is this whole scenario.
Once
is
per
an
fight.
encounter.
And then some abilities are daily. Like, I'm imagining your big spell is a daily.
Yeah.
But Magic Missile
At
is
will.
at will.
Yeah.
You can just...
That's odd. I don't have any dailies. Well, I guess they don't have them for
Fighters, fighters, as of this D&D game day, they removed the dailies from fighters because a lot of players thought that didn't make any sense. That a fighter would have a sword move they could only do once a day.
That's kind of weird.
So they replaced that with your stances. So
Okay.
he has a mechanic you guys don't have. The stances are fighting styles that he can choose to adopt that give specific bonuses. For instance, the Battle Rage gives +2 to damage. And as long as he's in Battle Rage stance, he gets a damage bonus. But there's also stances that give you defensive bonuses or bonuses to your hit roll but not to damage. Bonuses if you're engaged one-on-one like a dueling stance. If I'm engaged with one person, I get bonuses, but if I get bum rushed, I don't get them anymore. So that's why the fighter has stances but no dailies. Because it sort of broke verisimilitude for a lot of players to go, why can my fighter only do this once a day, man? So they changed it. So, brain fart. That was Lucan blowing up a skeleton. The archer, he is in hurting mode. 2, 3, 4. He swings out here, takes cover behind this wagon, and takes a shot at the wizard. Because the wizard is tearing the skeletons up.
The wizard?
The wizard. The wizard's going to get cover from these crates, though.
Really?
So it's +2 for
So
him,
+2.
and maybe
How big are the
+4
crates?
for the other guy?
Say again?
How big are the crates? Like
5 by 5.
crates?
Yeah, they're like crates and barrels and stuff. They're enough to count as difficult terrain. So.
Still trying to figure out my AC 17.
Get out of the crate and barrel. We're at a fight here. Come on.
Does that AC 17 include my +1 amulet of protection?
It should.
All right.
Let's see. Because 17 is a pretty beefy armor class
It
for
is.
a wizard.
I've got a high dex.
Yes, that'll save you too. So, the archer.
Fires away, thunk, right into my eyeball.
So, he's got... Let's see.
He's got extra twist.
Ah, I wish I'd known
He's
about
got
that when he
double
was
flip.
shooting at her. All right.
Wait, what?
He has an ability like your Elven Accuracy. I just forgot he had it when he was attacking her. All right. So,
I'm going to get shot right in the eyeball.
We'll avenge you.
Thank you.
I should avenge
Your
you.
eyeball, anyway.
You avenge my eyeball.
All right.
I got 2.
So, he's +11 to hit, -2 for the cover, so he's +9.
+9.
17 +9 is a hit.
Oh, he hit.
Some
All right.
amazing dice, except for mine.
Whack.
Thunk.
That is 8 damage.
Yikes.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, this guy is pretty bad news.
All right.
All right, that's the archer. Brandis, you're next.
I'm kind of wondering if I'm wasting my time chopping at these zombies, but I think I'm just going to finish the one off that I hit.
Go for it.
So I'll roll to hit that zombie that I've bloodied.
Okay.
Oh, and I think that you failed me now. 13.
Hits.
13 hits.
Indeed it does.
Okay.
Just barely.
Cheers to that.
AC is 13. Roll damage. That's zombie number 3.
That is 11.
All right. The zombie loses an arm and is barely on its feet. It is very, very close to dead.
I'm going to take a 5-foot step towards me on the gangplank. Yeah.
There you go.
We'll make some movement in that direction.
Okay. That brings us to Thea. What you doing, Thea?
Where am I?
Here.
Great. Do they have combat advantage?
They do because they're flanking you.
Oh, goody. I read something about that. It sounded interesting. Let's see.
Sorry, sir. I flunked flank.
So I'm just throwing this out here. You're supposed to get people in flank, not stay in flank. Just
No, I understand that. I thought I read something about being in flank. Or being flanked. You choose to use a weapon attack power against an enemy, granting combat advantage to you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, which they're not doing. They have combat advantage over me.
They have combat advantage on you, yes, not to you.
Yeah. So, wacky.
All right.
Can I, are they facing me, I guess, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can I do something fancy like duck down and try to take a swing at both of them? Is that acrobatic?
It would be.
Like if they're here, can I just like pull just go?
Well, you've already spent your action point, so you can't do a double attack.
All right.
Which one would you like to turn your attention to, the skeleton or the zombie?
you can take a 5-foot and attack. Can you attack diagonally?
Yeah, absolutely. You're still adjacent.
Get out of flank.
So I can move and then attack, right?
Yeah, you could do that and then attack.
I'll do that.
Okay, so who are you attacking, the skeleton or the zombie?
The skeleton because he's annoying me.
Roll the attack.
11 plus what?
Whatever your basic attack, melee
It'll be
basic
at the-
attack
it'll be at
is.
the top on the other side.
Let's see the Pope.
Let's have it.
Oh, what's happening?
Plus 10 versus AC. So that would be 21.
That hits, and that skeleton goes bye-bye.
Okay.
All right.
That makes me happy.
You are no
Thank
longer
you.
flanked. Okay. Thea, now the skeletons act. Well, there's only 2 of them left. And they are making ranged attacks. Still firing at Brannis because it worked last round. 14 plus 6 is 20.
That'll hit.
And 16 plus 6 is 22.
That'll hit.
6 total damage. All right. The zombies are next.
Boo.
All right. This one's going to try a save again. Finally. Doom. That's his round. He's back on the deck.
He's still got the hook in his head, though.
Yeah. It's not attractive. So, this zombie shifts and attacks, trying to grab you, and that's a miss. This zombie just tries a flat-out attack. It's tired of trying to grab you. It's going to slam you. And that's an natural miss. Let's see. Back to Lucan the Wizard.
I'm going to run over around the corner, move 7.
Which direction?
Here, I'll show you.
Sure.
Oh, I got to run past it. 1, 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to magic missile the guy.
Go for it. Magic Missile's an auto hit. That's
Auto
6 damage, right?
Yep.
All right.
Is he dead yet or what?
He is not dead yet, but he is looking extremely unhappy. All right, on his action.
How won't you die?
On his action, he both attacks, and a figure appears next to Cedra, who is lying on the deck, grabs her box, and teleports away.
I don't like that.
Dang it.
And he appears over here. All right. The archer takes his shot at the wizard. You magic missiled me! 9 plus 9 is 18.
Cast shield.
Ah! Does shield simply negate the attack?
No, that's +4.
Oh, sweet. That breaks. Yeah. So, shield comes up. The arrow hits the shield.
Right.
Nice.
Excellent. All right. La 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 la.
Yes.
All right. Brannis.
Well, I'm gonna finish off the zombie.
All right. Hit it.
That is a 19, I believe. Yes.
Dead zombie.
Dead zombie. And how far can I move towards this guy? What is my movement?
What is your move? It should be on the front of your card.
Right underneath initiative.
Speed in squares, 5.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right. Thea. All alone on the ship.
Around, surrounded by what?
Well,
2 zombies. 2.
She's still there,
skeletons.
isn't she? What's her name? Still there?
Yeah, but she's on the deck unconscious.
And her box has been stolen.
And her
by
box
somebody.
has been stolen.
How many guys are left?
4?
2 skeletons, 2 zombies, and the archer.
1 skewered zombie, though. Right?
And
Yes.
and it looks like Green Arrow.
And yeah. And whoever that is that just appeared out of nowhere.
The teleporting dude. He's got the box.
Does he?
He's got
Yeah.
the box.
Well, I thought. Oh, you mean he teleported over there?
Mm-hmm.
So my movement is my speed, right?
Yes.
And how many houses
Guessing he
away
was invisible.
is that archer at the top of the stairs? And you don't count 2 for me. That doesn't.
Oh, really?
Only 1 for me.
Nice. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you crop past this guy at a run, he'll get an attack at you. If you go that away, well, running away from this guy, he'll get an attack on you.
Have you been hit?
No.
Not by a zombie. They keep whiffing.
So
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. So I want to move towards that archer because I'm worried about her. Right?
Okay, toward this archer?
Yeah.
All right, so
I'm
as
move
you
and attack.
as you break away, he gets his
Yeah,
opportunity
yeah.
attack.
Yeah.
That's going to be a +6 versus AC with a 1. Nope. All right.
Okay, 1. Does a 1 count like he slips on some grease on the deck and falls?
It's an
in?
automatic miss,
No, nothing. Okay.
but nothing comical. So you want to get up and attack this skeleton?
I do.
Roll your attack.
15 plus 10. 'Cause it's melee, right?
Yeah.
their AC start 29, I think.
That
Right.
skeleton goes away. All right, the other skeletons. This skeleton shoots you. Hey, and it might hit.
AC 18.
Yeah, AC 24 total. So your AC is 18?
Mhm.
It hit a 24 total, so yes, it hits. 3 damage.
Ouch.
And that is all the skeletons that are left. Now it's time for zombies.
She's unconscious, you said, right?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
They're
ignoring her?
Yes, they are.
They're going after Tiara. Okay.
All right.
Or just us.
What's this? It's a skeleton the same way?
No, the skeleton is still shooting at you.
Okay.
It's still engaging you. So, Lucan, what would you like to do?
Well, I'm gonna run right here. I'm gonna blast both of these guys.
With
A fountain of flame.
nice.
Does
A fountain of flame.
each enemy in
Guess I
blast
didn't wanna say
plus
flaming
4
hands
versus
anymore.
reflex, 3d8 plus 4 fire damage, and you slide the target up to 3 squares. If you miss, it's half damage.
All right. So make 2 attack rolls. What's the bonus on it?
Plus 4.
And what is it attacking? Armor class, fortitude,
Reflex.
Okay.
Ready?
Don't roll low.
Here's the guy, the arrow guy
So
that's
wrong.
got
Yeah.
a lot of
Right.
injuries. He's bloody.
Yep.
Here's my attack on him. 11 plus 4, or do I use my arcane? Plus 4 versus reflex.
+4 versus reflex is 15.
Yeah. I don't use my Arcana to attack with? Okay.
No, you use
so I
the
just use
bonus
the plus
from
4.
there.
All right.
So that is a 15, and his reflex is 16, but he still takes half damage. It says half damage on a miss, right?
Right, it says half damage on the miss. So I'm going to roll up his damage.
You roll damage once for both of them.
All right, so let me try to hit the other guy. That is a 15.
That's also a miss, but you still do damage. So
All
it's 3d8 plus.
Here's 5, 8, and 2, 15 plus 4 is 19.
All right. 19 kills the archer and bloodies whoever this is.
You gotta get that guy.
Let's put it in
You
a
gotta
right
use your
square.
action surge. You gotta use your action surge to get that guy. Tackle him. All right, that's all I can do.
All right. Next round is his.
Oh, he gets to go
He is
now.
not
Yeah,
staying
he
in the
acts
right
on the
square.
archer's initiative.
Shoot.
He is going to double move, which puts him off the map.
All right.
He has run away. You did see the direction he headed, though. And that, let's see, that was the archer who is now dead. I'm taking him off the initiative list.
I've got a magic missile
should
range of
be top
20.
priority.
That guy's still within 20 range.
Yeah, he's got the box.
Yeah. I mean, you could ignore the zombies and skeletons, just run after them.
That was going to be mine. I'm running after him. So if we've got another turn,
Yeah.
What's your move? 5?
yeah, but I can spend my action point, so I could take 15.
That's true. All right. So you're going to try to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That gets you off the map. All right. So you're giving chase. Thea, what are you doing?
I'm concerned about her, so I'm going to take care of that last skeleton right there.
Okay. Move in and attack.
Absolutely.
All right. Roll your attack.
Sorry, I looked at your box.
She'll come around.
He feels no shame.
She wasn't into it the first time, but she'll come around. They all come around. 15 plus... Yeah, 25.
You hit the skeleton. It shatters. Another dead skeleton.
Okay. I
All
run
right.
over to my lava.
The skeletons are now out of the picture.
I don't have any move left, do I?
No, not this round.
Next round, I'm going to be running to her.
All right, so the zombies 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Lucan tosses another magic missile and does 6 more damage to your fleeing opponent. It is not enough to drop him. Make a perception check.
Is he within range of 20?
Yes,
I'm going to hit him with another magic missile then.
Yes, I just did that damage.
Okay.
Perception.
Perception.
I guess passive perception is what I'm looking at.
No, it would be your perception skill. What's your passive?
I do not have. My passive is 10.
Which means roll a die and don't add anything. 3. All right. You see the magic missile hit him, and you see him dive into a crowd of onlookers and kind of disappear into the crowd. So what do you guys want to do about the zombies? They're still menacing the docks.
Well, I'll finish him off.
Okay. So that was Brannis.
Get
Thea,
further away.
you wanted to move down here.
Yeah, so question, if she's passed out, just like other editions, she's at 0.
Yes, she is alive. She's not dead.
Is she healing herself, or can I give her some of my points like you were talking about?
Ah,
Do the
you can make a heal check.
Okay.
Which I think you just.
It's based on
don't
wisdom.
don't add it, maybe? I don't know.
It's based on wisdom? Which
Yeah.
is 14 plus 3. Okay. 11?
So that's just enough. She kind of flutters her eyes open and looks up at you, and then her hand goes right down to her belt, and she's like, "The box, where is it?"
Some guy teleported in and grabbed it and then ran away. I think that Brannis ran after him.
She says, "You have to get it."
We'll get it. Just want to make sure you're okay. Can I bind her wounds, by the way? She's wounded.
Yes. So you bind her wounds. She looks pretty badly torn up, but she will live. Let's see. All right. Well, we will assume that the zombies are not difficult to dispatch if you just keep away from them and pour magic missiles and other things into them. And that...
I really wish the one was still skewered on
is
the
that.
there.
All right. So, this leaves you...
With a new
hunting, hunting down the guy that got away with the box.
Doctor Who. This is the box. Okay, never mind.
They're down inside.
Well, he pops in out of nowhere, grabs a box, pops out, and
All right. So, the crowd parts from that direction, and some guardsmen come marching up. Too late as usual. They look around, they see the bodies of the zombies and some of the skeletons. And one of them says, "What's all this then?"
Well, we were attacked by a necromancer, and we dispatched his minions, yet he escaped with the box that we were empowered to protect, that this lady here finds very precious. And our duty now is to retrieve the box from this nefarious individual who has absconded with the box and is now hiding in the crowd.
The guards look at each other, and one of them speaks up and says, "I saw someone running away. He was a human in red robes. He went that way."
Description? Does it fit the same description?
It does.
That's the guy.
I go pachoo in that direction.
All right. Pachoo.
I just start hauling.
roll your pachu. I think it's the third one down.
Yes, Pachoo is on the character sheet.
It's a peel a banana. A peel out.
I've seen stranger things on character sheets. There's one RPG that doesn't have hit points. It has oops points, as in oops, I got hit. So
That's good.
So, now we are going into something that is a mechanic of 4th edition that is part of the investigative process, but it's a rather interesting sort of thing called a skill challenge. So what happens...
Ooh, yes.
Yes. So what happens in a skill challenge is you are presented with a problem. In this case, you are chasing a red-robed man who stole your shit.
We're trying to disappear into a crowd.
Who disappeared into a crowd, but you know the general direction he went because you saw him, and one of the guards spotted him and verified, hey, he went that way.
Yeah.
So...
Is he bleeding?
He was wounded.
Yeah.
He took at least a magic missile and some sort of flaming death spell.
Yeah.
So, this is where, now that you know what the problem is, you can look at the things your characters are capable of on their skills list and propose, well, maybe I can use this skill.
I've got nature plus 11. I'm going to use that to try and see if he's disturbed the natural environment, like maybe he's got a footprint, or he's scraped up against a fence, or he's gone through a door and his bloody hand handled on the doorknob. I'm looking for things that don't look like they'd be part of the nature.
So, make a nature check.
All right.
And the way that the skill challenge works, and that's going to be a success. That's what, an 18?
It's a 19 plus 11, so that's a 30. So it's like tracking.
That is an insane success.
I have two ideas.
Okay.
One, streetwise, he's trying to fade into a crowd, and I want to see how the crowd's moving, knowing how that sort of thing works. Two, I have athletics, which means I'm going to run after this guy and not get tired.
All right. So, which one would you like to try first?
Streetwise, so I know what direction to run in.
Okay. Make the streetwise check.
That will be a 27.
All right. You have successfully rattled your brain for knowledge of the layout of Neverwinter, and you know what direction to head. Athletics would be a group check. The way that works is all 3 of you roll athletics, and as long as 2 out of 3 of you succeed, the whole group succeeds.
Question.
Yes.
If we're running after him, what happened to the nice lady?
she's still on the ship and wounded. The crew is taking care of her, but basically she wants you to go get her box back.
I'm just saying that once the crew's taking care of her, and I'm sure she's okay, I'm not going to leave her there to get attacked by another skeleton, or if she's
that's
bleeding
good
or
The city
point.
guards are there too.
So okay, as long as she is reasonably protective, then I'll join the group.
Okay. So what would you, do you have any skills that you think would help the party find?
Well, I've got pretty good perception, which might help me locate him. Acrobatics does not help me in movement, does it?
Only if you're trying to, like, get through difficult terrain by flippity-floppity over it or under it or something like that.
Well, it could be a dance to get through a crowd.
Could be parkour.
The French art of running away.
Yes, and this is interesting.
Isn't the martial
During
art
a
falling?
skill challenge, whenever you roll a natural 20, which that die has done for me, on a skill check that would contribute at least one or more successes to the challenge, your check succeeds automatically and counts as one additional success as well.
Wow.
Yes. Natural 20 is 2 successes.
Give it a try.
Huh?
I said give it a try.
Yeah.
But the mechanic with the skill challenge is you must make a certain number of successes before you roll a certain number of failures.
Question.
No
I'm
one's
assuming-
failed yet, though.
So, real quick, this elven accuracy does encounter imply that it only works in a fight?
Yes. Elven accuracy is not going to help you during a skill challenge unless it's Robin Hood's archery tournament. That would count.
So I'm rolling acrobatics, basically.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Can I use 2 of those at the same time, acrobatics and perception?
Only one per go round.
24.
24. That is 3 successes, no failures. So you guys are hot on the trail of this. Teleporting thief.
Teleporting thief. Doesn't sound good.
You feel like you're getting close to him, and you've blown through the re-civilized portion of Neverwinter with all of the scaffolds and rebuilding. You've kind of gotten outside the areas that are generally deemed as safe. A lot of the ruins of the city from the volcanic eruption and earthquake of 20 years ago haven't quite been resettled by civilized folk. There are monsters and wild animals and various other creatures.
Gangs.
Mm-hmm. The gangs of New York. So, as you get out of the re-civilized areas,
Yes.
you realize the guard is probably not going to be around to save your bacon at this in this location.
Am I still running?
Yes, I would assume all of you are.
Okay.
And there's no longer a crowd either.
Well, I want to
Right.
I want to take a
We
healing.
can see him.
Oh, you guys, see, I would highly recommend stop and catch your breath before.
That's what I'm going to do.
All right. So
But I'm tracking him really well. I got a 30.
we need one more success to complete the skill challenge to figure out where this guy's ultimate location is.
Well, you did the streetwise.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So what else would you guys like to try?
And we did tracking. And then there was your athletics too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I haven't done that one yet. That was me catching up to him.
Yeah. Because he's going to get fatigued while the athletics guy isn't. Is that how it works?
Well, yes. This guy could
if
be
I get a
getting
success,
fatigued.
yeah, maybe.
All right, go for it. Go for the athletics check. Uh-oh.
14.
Oh, that's still a success. Wow. All right. You guys have tracked this guy to his destination and done it quickly enough that he probably doesn't have a whole lot of time to get himself set up to defend. You are looking over a cemetery.
Okay.
You know the cemetery was known as, the cemetery was known as Never Death in the old days of the city because of a strange propensity for, undead to make appearances. As you arrive, you see your quarry standing. Let's see. You see your quarry standing here, flanked by a pair of ravenous-looking dogs.
Ooh, ravenous dogs. That's the worst kind.
It's the worst kind.
The ravenous ones. That means that they've been starved. So maybe if we just throw them some adventurers supplies, maybe if I throw them a hardtack.
Hardtack.
Bacon.
Here's a biscuit.
Here's some biscuit. Here's
You
some
guys
bacon grease on the biscuit.
start here in
Just
this
making a cup of
area.
tea.
All right. So I can take. So while
Well,
we spotted him,
Question: You've spotted him. Do you guys want to take a short rest before jumping in?
I take a seat.
Depends on
healing
if he's
surge.
still running or not.
Okay.
Is he running or is he standing?
He has stopped.
Yeah, he's waiting for us to show up. So I'm taking a healing surge. I got 8 hit points of damage.
All right, so mark off one of your healing surges and give yourself back your surge value, which I think is 6 on
Correct.
Lucan. Anybody else need to take a healing surge?
I mean, I might as well.
Yes.
All right.
When we get this back when we sleep, right?
Yes, when you sleep, you get your healing surges back. That is something that they did in 4th edition. You actually regain all your hit points and your healing surges with a full night's sleep. But the healing surge acts as a limit on how much total healing you can receive during the course of a day. Once you run out of surges, there's only very powerful magics can heal you. For instance, a healing potion just allows you to pop a healing surge mid-combat without wasting your second wind. So when a cleric, if there were a cleric in the party, the cleric has the ability to cast Healing Word, which is basically the cleric going, you, pop a surge. You, pop a surge. And you get, as a free action, to take the healing surge. You get 2d6 extra hit points because a cleric is giving you the healing. But if you run out of healing surges, the cleric can throw Healing Word at you all day and it's not going to do anything. So it's sort of a limitation on your character's durability for the course of the day. Indeed. So, everybody's got their healing done?
Yeah. This takes a round, correct?
Yes. It's just a short rest takes about 5 minutes
All right.
of real time. So, marching order. Who's up front?
Are we gonna let's put the fighter up front? Are we gonna do another initiative?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
So, fighter up front and thief or elf in the middle.
I would be behind naturally because I came later.
Ah, that's right.
Well, we
okay,
can
so
rest
wizard
for
in the
5
middle.
minutes, so we can do whatever we want.
Okay.
Okay. There is a zombie rises under this tree,
I'm tired of zombies.
and one on either side of the road. Okay, let's get some new initiative going on.
Roll them 20-sided die.
16.
Okay, Thea has a 16. Brannis?
18.
18. Lucan?
Die with 9.
Lucan's got a 9. The zombies of the stratosphere have
We get our action
a
point
3.
back.
No.
No.
Your action points come back at a what they call a milestone, which would be at the end of this encounter. So every 2 encounters is a milestone, and you get your action point back.
Okay.
Now, an interesting thing is you can accumulate action points, but you can only ever use 1 per battle. So it kind of encourages you to go ahead and spend 1 at least every 2 fights, because your action points also reset to 1 after a sleep, after a long rest. So it's kind of trying to encourage you to use them a lot. Let's see. The zombies are once again at the crappiest possible initiative. Ooh, the Grave Hounds.
grave hounds.
Grave stars.
They sound like they have gravitas. Gravely so. The grave hounds.
And how about Talavast?
Dig
Oh!
graves until they've uncovered the newly buried dead and devour the corpse.
Ew.
Slowly changing themselves into necromantic beings with foul breath and diseased bites and horrendous clawing attacks that cause itching and fungoid. What he sends. Grave hound.
Fungoid. You know, I collect spores, molds, and fungoids. All right.
The grave hounds are upon you. Well, that's daily, so I can't use Fountains of Flame again. All right.
Okay, here we go.
And away we go.
All right. Talavast acts first.
That's the bad guy, right?
That is the guy wearing the robes of a red wizard of Thay. All right, let's see here.
Can those grave hounds jump up on top of a crypt?
It's like bright red, like candy red robes. Is that?
They can.
That's what he's wearing.
All right, so
Yeah.
Talavast.
Excessive jewelry.
Candy apple red.
Is he wearing jewelry? Does he have bling on?
He's
He
got a
does
tiara.
have some bling. All right, so
It's Snoop Dogg, and he's got his dogs. That's cool. All right.
So, in the distance ahead of you stands a thin human in a red robe with a bone-hilted dagger in his belt. He stares down at his hands in which he holds a jeweled crown. He gives a start as you arrive. He raises one of his hands to the sky and a strangled howl fills the air as two lanky gray hounds bound out from behind the gravestones. Behind you, 3 of the blackened corpses rise from where they had fallen in the graveyard, ash swirling as they move. The black gates of Neverdeath grind closed behind them, and you're trapped among the dead. So, on his action, he takes his move to Death Walk, which gives him a 6-square teleport. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Ooh, he's not backing down.
He teleports. Nice. And whips his hand forward at Brannis. 1, 2, 3. And this tentacle of utter black throws forward and whips at you. 26 against Fortitude?
Yeah.
All right. You take 5 necrotic damage. The damage type doesn't matter in this case because you're not vulnerable to necrotic, but typed damage is a thing. That away if you're vulnerable, say undead or vulnerable to radiant damage or things like that. So, whack! And then he pulls you 1, 2 squares with it. Sort of, get over here! That was his attack. Let's see. Brannis, you're next.
Okay. Battle Fury is my stance for this encounter.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes, I would.
And I'm gonna go ahead and go and power strike him with this hit
All right. Go for it.
with the greatsword. Oh no. That would be a 18 armor class.
That hits. Roll damage. Uh-oh. I have a note.
You do have a note.
Memo.
Oh, the Sadie Hawkins.
I already asked David, but he said no. Just let me know what I need to do.
Okay.
Roll.
What you got?
A 20 damage.
That's
Nice.
a lot of damage.
Is he hurting? Is he bloodied?
He's hit, but he is not actually bloodied. All right.
Did he sever an arm or puncture an artery?
So, you hit Talavast, and a wave of necrotic energy blows out from him. He now has a 2-square aura all the way around him that's just seething with necrotic energy. If you start your turn within that aura, you take 5 necrotic damage.
If you start your turn within that aura.
Mm-hmm.
As if you've
What
been
about if you're in
gripped
that
by
aura?
a tentacle that holds you there, then you gotta take 5 damage per round because the tentacle's going to keep you there. However, while he's standing there, he's going to get whacked to death by a greatsword.
This is true.
Brandis will probably survive.
All right, Brandis. Gravehounds act next. The Thayan Gravehounds.
Gravehounds! They roam across the
right.
cemetery grounds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That one runs in, barking and howling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Well, just throw him some meat.
8.
Dogs are not that hard to bribe.
All right, the Gravehound attacks Brandis.
No!
23 versus AC. That is a hurt. Oh! 9 damage. And... Nope, wrong box. Where's my magic DM box? Where is it? I haven't used these things in 10 years. Where'd they go? I know it's here somewhere. Oh, here we go. Brandis has been knocked prone.
Not unconscious, just
Not unconscious, just down. So, what does prone mean, one may ask? In 4E D&D, there were various statuses that would have different effects on your characters. Prone being one of the ones that was not a lot of fun to have put on you. When prone, a creature is lying down. If the creature is climbing or flying, it falls instead. A prone creature takes a -2 penalty to attack rolls, and the only way it can move is by crawling, teleporting, being pulled, pushed, or slid. In addition, it grants combat advantage to enemies making melee attacks against it, but it gains a +2 bonus to all defenses against ranged attacks from enemies that aren't adjacent to it. A creature can end this condition by standing up, which takes your move action. So, that was the Gravehounds. Thea, you are going to try to do the thing?
Yeah.
All right. Is that a stealth? Make a stealth check.
Okay. What is it, 2? Okay. Is it?
Whoa.
17.
All right, you want to swing right or left?
Ooh. It looks like on the board that would make more sense to go that way.
Okay. Are you trying to stay out of that necrotic zone?
Well, in order to do what I have to do,
You would have to come this way.
I would have to get into the necrotic zone at some point.
At some point.
Just charge in.
How long do you want to...
The dogs are on this side, right?
There's one dog, there's the other.
Okay,
So-
but there's somebody between me and the dog, so...
Yeah. Basically, this could be a double move. So what's your normal speed? Is it 7, 8?
My normal speed is 7. But don't I have something about...
You trying to
So
backstab?
that's a single move.
I say you just run in there, get behind the guy, backstab him, and take the 5 hit points of necrotic damage. Boom, bada
You
bing.
could get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, I'd go a little further. You could get here with a double move, and then next round just move in and try to shank him from behind.
Okay. That's my coin. Gone again?
You spent it last battle, so... No, double move, you can always give up your attack to move a second time. But you can't give up your move to attack a second time.
Is this once per game?
Well, it's one use, and then after 2 battles, you get 1 back. So you haven't
okay.
earned it back yet.
After this one I would.
Yes. All right, so you're making a maneuver. Lucan, what do you want to do?
Well, I'm going to hit the guy with magic missile, then I'm going to run over to here. That's about 7, right?
Okay, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you can do that. So, you hit him with the magic missile. Zot! 6 damage, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. The magic missile impacts him in the shoulder, and he grunts and grits his teeth. He is not yet bloodied. All right, the zombies. The ash zombies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. God, this is not looking good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, 2 ash zombies are gonna whack on Brannis. Oh. Okay. 1 tries zombie grasp. It is +4 versus reflex, and that's another 2 for combat advantage.
I got a 15.
That's a miss. Because he had an 8 + 4 is 12. The other one tries to grab. That might hit. You said 18?
Is it a reflex?
Versus reflex.
15.
15. The second one hits. So he grabs the target for 10 damage. So they reach down and grab your shoulders. So you are grabbed. You have to make an escape check at DC 12 on your turn to get out.
Brannis is getting swarmed.
All right. Talavast acts next.
Yikes.
He uses Grasping Claws from Below. It's a burst 2 attack, +7 versus reflex. It immobilizes the targets until Talavast's next turn. So burst 2 within 10. Where would I put that?
Over there.
I'll put it here so it hits, because you're too far away. So he's going to put it here.
No, wait a second. Okay, you understand the whole point of that maneuver was for him not to notice me.
Well, yeah, but he's not attacking you. He's attacking them.
Okay.
So he plants the burst there, and he's got to make 2 attack rolls at +7 versus reflex. So against Brannis, a 9. And against Lucan, an 8.
Okay.
That's pretty sad.
Wow.
Spell don't work.
That was
If he's
useless.
casting a spell, does Brannis get an attack of opportunity?
Let me see. That is an area. So, well, yes, but Brannis is prone.
To not getting
You can
attacks
attack
of
while you're
opportunity.
prone. You just get a -4.
It's -2.
Prone and grappled.
Yeah. Jeff missed that.
And you haven't used your action surge yet, have you?
What's that?
Have you used your action surge?
We used it last time
I use mine.
when I went to run after the guy.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to look up grabbed real quick and see.
I think the back of that book is incorrect, by the way.
Back of which book?
It says all the rules in one book, but you have several books.
Well, yes, that's true. One of them's a monster manual, 2 are player's handbooks. That was something they did toward the end of 4th edition, is they split into 2 player handbooks, so you only had to buy the one with the class you wanted to play in it. Why can't I remember where the letter G comes? There it is. 231.
After F,
Grabbed.
before H.
Grabbed.
Grabbed. Creature is immobilized. Condition ends immediately on the creature if the grabber is subjected to an effect that prevents it from taking actions, or if the creature ends up outside the range of the grabber. You can take an escape action to try to get away. While you're grabbed, the grabber tried to move it. It does not say you cannot attack. It just says you're
move.
immobile.
Yeah.
And so,
So just keep swinging.
yeah, you can give it a try. You're at -2.
So did he successfully molest him or not?
Yeah, he's been grabbed.
Okay.
Yeah, you can take a swing. It will not be an accurate swing, but you can take a swing.
Do you feel violated?
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Well, you're doing what fighters do.
Dying.
Fight?
Well,
Whack at things?
That
Sticking
would
with
be
the pointy end?
24.
that's a hit. Roll damage, please.
I think you're going to kill the guy in this one.
It's entirely possible.
That would be a bad idea, but okay.
Then we just have zombies and grave hounds.
Let's see what we get.
Loping across the cemetery grounds.
18.
18 damage.
Yeah.
He is bloodied.
Is he
Oh, that's you.
barely hanging on?
It's all right. I'm bloodied as well.
Oh, okay. You're bloodied as well.
So you're going to dispatch him this turn.
You keep
Well, I think-
I am going to dispatch him. I am not going to kill him.
And then I'm going to blow everybody away. Well,
All right, so that was Tolavast's turn.
The
You got
reason
an
is
attack
I
of
want to
opportunity.
question him.
Now it's your turn. Do you want to try to break the grab?
Well, first thing that happens is damage from the necrotic thing.
Yeah, you
right?
take 5 points necrotic.
But then you can attack and kill him. I mean, you got an attack of opportunity because he's casting us.
You know, that's pretty much what's going to have to happen because I'm going to have to fight from the floor.
Do or die.
No, you're a fighter. Take a stand.
He's grabbed. He has to break the... If he takes the action to break the grab and then stand up, he can't attack. If he just takes a wild swing while the zombie still got him, then that...
-2.
I'm
ain't that
dead.
big.
I'm dead next round.
Yeah.
So
Maybe not.
if I don't take this guy out, the necrotic thing is going to kill me next round.
Yeah.
So it's that well, let's see here. That was probably not going to help. 16
Miss.
heroic effort.
Heroic effort!
If you miss with an attack roll or fail with a saving throw, +4.
That hits. Heroic effort.
Hooray!
And so what happens?
Heroic effort.
I should smash him then, yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, smash.
That would be another 18.
And he is dead.
Yep.
Damn.
You have killed
All right,
the necrophiliac.
Okay.
Mancer.
Mancer.
At which point the zombies and the skeletons and the dogs react how?
By getting really pissed off. They are still up and still animated.
All right.
Okay. That takes Tolavast off the board. He is gone.
Does
Tolavast
the
is-
uh,
Okay.
does his,
He's taking
does
him
his
off the
necro
board.
fart disappear?
Yes, his necro field disappears.
Cool.
All right, the Gravehounds are next. All right, good lord, you're just in the wrong spot.
Sure they wouldn't go after me, at least one of them?
One of them will.
The guy didn't
I was
do
trying to
anything
kind of
last
get in there. I didn't want to get hit by the zombies, but...
All right, so that Gravehound jumps Lucan 21 against AC.
Shield
Does shield do it?
gives me 21.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's still a hit.
Well,
Yeah, maybe don't.
well, it's per encounter, so...
Yeah, 9 points of damage
Okay.
and prone.
I can still cast spells from prone. Or
I think it's telling that so many of these little write on me chips say prone on them. From back when we played this.
You're getting knocked over, buddy.
Lots of that
And their
going
dogs
on.
do.
So this one attempts to attack you. Yeah, that might actually miss. 9, yeah, not a hit, even with the prone bonus. So that was the Gravehounds. Thea, you're up next. Now you are in a perfect spot to get combat advantage on that Gravehound.
Okay.
Get the doggy. Run over there and plant a dagger in his back.
I'm writing horrible now.
Are
So,
you? Are
yeah,
you?
Read that and tell me what you think about that.
So secret.
Sneaky, tricksy rogues. He's like, I'm just
Because
going
I think I could do both at once if I can roll something for either dexterity or
Trixie robes.
Yeah, I think you could do that.
is he agile enough.
I think you are.
Okay. So I'm going to move.
So your move is 7, right?
Uh-huh. So
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. You now have combat advantage, meaning you can use your sneak attack dice, or you can even throw your backstab ability, which gives even more.
then sneak attack? Sneak attack gives additional 3d6.
Yes, it does, but take a look at backstab.
You get a +3 power bonus to the attack roll. Oh,
And you also get your elven accuracy.
1d6 extra damage.
So 4d6 extra damage once per encounter, which you can use right now if you want, because you've got a perfect setup for it.
It says 1d6 extra.
Right, but that's on top of your sneak attack damage.
Because
Notice-
backstab is a subcategory of sneak.
Yes,
Yes.
please. Yes, please.
This was them trying to make it feel more like old school D&D, which is why that says thief, not rogue.
Yeah.
And so they gave that. They said, fine, have a backstab, because that's what we used to call it.
Yeah.
So is that stealth?
Evil.
No, it's a melee basic attack, but you add +3 to it because of the backstab. If it hits, you roll your normal damage plus 4 extra d6.
That's awesome. I think it's dead.
And you've got
We're gonna give it a
elven
try,
accuracy, so you
So
get to
if
roll
you
twice.
if you blow it, you can roll it over again.
Right.
Good. So
I'm not going to say anything.
3, but I get to add 10, and I get to add 1.
So that would be a
And
14.
I get to add 3 more for the sneak. So 3, 17.
17 total. That actually hits a Gravehound. Go for it.
You roll a 3 and you hit. 5d6 plus what?
Yeah, what's the damage of your normal weapon? What do you carry?
What, a d6?
So short sword. So it is.
5d6.
Is it 5d6?
I think so.
Short swords are usually
Melee
a
attack,
d6.
1d6 plus 6 damage.
So you will do
5d6.
5d6 plus 6 damage.
Plus 7.
Oh, plus 7.
Oh, plus 7.
5d6 plus 6. Can I have 2 more?
Yeah, here you go. Here's one.
Oh, thanks.
The skulls are.
Remember earlier when you said we wouldn't need this many d6s?
Shut up. So we got 10 and then 19 plus 7, 26.
26 damage?
26, yes. Thank you, sir.
You bloodied the hell out of it. It's still on its feet,
Joy.
but it is extremely unhappy. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. All right. Lucan.
All right, I'm going to cast
Lucan!
illusory
Sounds like a
obstacles.
petroleum company.
Nice.
Lucan?
No. I'm sorry. I'm
right.
trying to do something that does damage.
If you throw an H in there somewhere, it's the sage from Final Fantasy 1.
Do you have a fireball? Can you stuff the ball in a bag holding? Do you have a deck of many things?
You like George Wendt? Do you like eating beans?
I can't move.
I do.
can
I don't like when George Wendt eats beans, though. That's not fun.
So let's see a movie about George Wendt eating beans.
Wasn't there a TV show about George Wendt eating beans?
Well,
No, it was an Animaniac sketch. Would you like to take a survey? Do you like George Wendt? Would you eat beans at a George Wendt movie?
I'm going to do illusory obstacles.
Cool.
Each enemy in blast, it's a 10 area of effect. Blast.
Wow.
Area burst.
That's a huge burst.
1 within 10. Each enemy in
Ah.
blast.
Okay, so you pick a square, and 1 square around that. So it's a 3x3 more or less.
All right, well, I'm going to try to get as many as I can. Probably center it right.
You could get all 4 of these if you center it right here.
That's what I do.
Boom! What does it do?
It's just a daze. They get that's a +5 reflex.
Okay, so
I guess I don't roll to hit. You just roll the reflex save.
no, you do roll to hit against their reflex.
Okay, so I got +5 versus a reflex. The
Yes.
target is dazed and unable to charge until the end of my next turn.
Nice. So reflex for the Gravehounds is 15. The zombies is 11.
All right, I beat 1 Gravehound.
All right, and the other
21.
3 are zombies. So it's dazed.
All right, and then the zombie, that's a 16. And there's a 15 and a 9, a 10.
Dazed.
10, so I didn't get 1 zombie, but I got the other 2.
Like pot dazed, acid
Dazed.
dazed, or you just hit your head dazed?
Just hit your head
Dazed.
dazed.
And then I need another one with a picture of McConaughey on it that says confused.
So I dazed the hound and
And
2 zombies.
2 out of 3 zombies.
Right.
Nice.
You're gonna say it, Jim?
What?
All right.
All right.
All right.
And my shield is still in effect.
The House of Pain is in effect.
That was a broccoli is in effect.
Until the end of your next turn. Because I used it this round.
Creature can't get its normal complement of actions. It can either standard or move or minor, but that's it.
So I think that prevents you from getting whacked by the zombies. And
Nope. No, they can attack, but they can't move and attack.
If I could get away, they wouldn't be able to reach me.
Yeah. The creature grants combat advantage. So all 3 of these creatures are now,
Disadvantaged.
yeah. You could just walk up to any of them and get your 3d6. Of course, you can still get it here because... All right.
And then I'll use the rest of my action to stand. Cast a spell and stand up.
All right. And I just realized I made a minor rules gaffe there. You shouldn't have granted combat advantage while prone, but we've already moved on.
Okay.
I realized my mistake. We will continue going.
All right.
So, good job.
He was very intimidating.
Yes. Zombies. All right. That zombie is dazed. That zombie is dazed.
They don't get a -2 attack. They just can't move.
They just lose.
They lose half their actions. They can either move or attack, but not both.
Right.
Kind of like the artillery in Battle Cry. All right. This zombie moves up to try to get you, but he's dazed and can't actually attack. He can move, but not attack. These two are already on you. They're going to attempt to attack. All right. So...
How many hexes am I away from him? By the way.
This one or this one?
No. Brannis.
One. You are one space away from Brannis.
Okay. I'll go ahead.
Okay.
It's my turn.
So, the zombie is going... the zombie that's grabbed you is going to try to slam you. Really? Okay, even with the bonus, it only got an 11. That ain't happening. The zombie that did not grab you is going to try to slam you. 14, 15, 16 is not going to hit, right? You've got an AC...
16 will hit.
Oh, I thought you had an AC of 18.
I'm prone.
Ah, yes. Oh, wait. I added the bonus for prone.
Okay.
So if we only add the bonus once, you got a 14.
Okay. Nope, that won't hit.
And so your 18 goes to 16. Right. Okay, so that's a miss for the zombie.
Yay.
That brings us back to Brannis. What are you going to do? You're on the ground.
I am going to stand up and second wind.
All right.
Good choice.
You stand up. You second wind. All your defenses go up by 2 until the end of your next turn. And you get 1 healing surge worth of HP back. Does that unbloody you, or are you still bloodied?
I'm still bloodied.
Okay. And you still haven't found what you're looking for. Okay.
Right? I think it's laying over there in that bottle of Necromancer that I made. But
Aw, you
Thanks, here, folks. He'll be here all week. Don't forget to tip the veal and try your waitress. I mean, you know what I mean.
You've been to North Texas RPG Con then.
Yeah.
Never mind. The winches are awesome.
Winches!
The winches or the wenches?
They have some rather attractive young ladies whose job it is to walk around and take drink and food orders for the game masters and the players.
That's what I plan on having on here.
It is one of the
Taking
interesting
coffee orders.
Wenches.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, hey Macarena.
Please never do that again.
Yes. Brannis is acted. It's time for the Gravehounds. That Gravehound is dazed. It will attempt to attack but not move. Auto miss. This Gravehound is going to turn around and bite at Thea
Negative.
because she shanked the crap out of
Well, I
him.
used my dexterity to get out of the way.
So that's 17 plus 7 is 21 versus armor class.
18, but can I attempt to get out of the way?
No, you're hit. And
So unrealistic.
that is 11 damage.
What?
And prone.
Bokake.
Oh, wait, never mind. It does not have combat advantage against you. You are not prone. You just take the damage.
11 damage now.
Yes. So, the 2 Gravehounds have acted. Thea, it's your turn.
It is my turn. Question. How many days people have got over there clumped together in a little cross?
1, 2, 3 dazed people.
Right. So,
There's a non-dazed zombie here and a doggy here.
and see,
it's in flank.
that you are flanking.
I know I don't get multiple attacks, but since they're right next to each other, could I possibly hit more than one?
You don't have the ability to do that. Fighters can pick up the ability to cleaving strike, and wizards have area effect attacks. Thieves, not so much with the area of effect.
All right. Then I'm just going to cut the head off of this frickin' dog.
Roll the attack.
Thank you.
The Grave Hound.
Nothing special, right? Just basic melee for this one.
Basic melee.
All right, 25.
Son, that's a hit. Roll damage.
26, actually. Yeah.
And don't forget to add your sneak attack dice because you do have it flanked.
Oh.
So 3d6 plus 7 this time, or plus 6.
Oh, isn't it 46?
Yeah.
Because you rolled 5.
Oh,
with the...
3 for the sneak attack plus 1 for the
It's
actual
1d6
sword.
plus 6 for normally, right?
Yep, and then you add your sneak attack dice.
Which is 3d6 plus 1.
so
So it's 46
plus 7.
Yeah.
You're a Cuisinart.
12, 19.
That is one of the things that started in the 3rd edition of D&D, was for some reason the thief went from the person that finds the hidden traps and unlocks the doors to the person that deals more damage than the damn fighter. So,
As it should be, because I don't think of Thief, I don't think of Bilbo. I think of Bruce Lee or...
That's a monk. That's a monk. I'm sorry.
That is a monk.
It is a monk.
Whatever.
That is the monk.
The monk, yes.
What about like Neo
Well-
in the Matrix? He's kind of a thief. Not really. I made
That's
that up.
that's one of
He's
the
a
stories
fighter.
that the old graybeards tell about how some of those classes got into D&D in the first place. Why are there monks in D&D? Well, I think it was Rob Kuntz watched a lot of kung fu, or where'd the idea for the cleric come from? Well, those old Hammer movies with the guy with the cross and yeah, okay, that's where clerics came from. They talk about Bishop Turpin is the reason why they can't attack with bladed weapons, but the whole idea of hold up a cross and chase off the undead, all that came from old Hammer movies, apparently. So, okay, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing. So, how much damage did you do?
Oh, something like 19. Wasn't
Yeah, that's dead. Dead doggy.
it? Did I cleave its head off?
Indeed, you did.
Wonderful. That makes
With
me
a short
happy.
sword.
That
was
makes me happy.
kind of awesome. All right, that was Thea. Lucan, it's your turn.
You
You got a zombie on you.
Luke
Where's
get
the
your
nearest
magic
dog?
on.
Nearest dog's over here.
I'm going to magic missile the dog.
Okay. Do you want to shift away from the zombie so it doesn't get an attack on you?
I'll make a 5-foot step
Yeah, there
and
you
then
go.
Poor
blast.
doggy.
All right, doggy takes 6.
Aw.
Schwack! All right. So, you smell sizzling undead flesh as the magic missile pounds into the dog.
So these are undead dogs.
Indeed they are. They are grave
Did you see what
hounds.
breed of dogs? They're not like Yorkies or anything, right?
No, they're Cheweenies.
They're Chewini. I killed a Chewini.
I'm just kidding.
Oh God.
You killed the hell out of it, man.
Oh,
Actually, they're big undead chow chows because my aunt's dog terrified me as a child. Jojo was awesome, but when he spotted a cat, man, it was all over. That dog drugged me across an apartment complex chasing a cat. So,
Yes.
Just imagine you being.
yeah, seriously.
No, Jojo, no!
I was my son's age. I was 10, and that dog was just like dragging me across the apartment complex.
Snarling, drooling.
That was pretty awful.
I'm like, I don't want to see a cat.
Oh, you could mess with that dog too, because it knew the word cat. Like Jojo would be laying there in the middle of the living room floor, and you go, Jojo, where's the cat? Where's the cat? And he'd jump up. Okay, that brings us to the zombies, who haven't done anything really that useful except pound on the fighter. So this zombie goes "Ugh," and attempts to grab.
All right.
The grabbity grab is +4 versus reflex. This die has rolled more ones tonight.
All right.
Miss. All right. These two dazed ones are going to attempt to attack.
Are they still dazed?
They how
Dazed until the end of your next turn.
okay, so your next turn just ended, so they are no longer dazed. No more.
I was gonna say, unless they have a rage attack, what could they possibly do?
Whoa.
They're not close enough to
Let's
anybody.
see, all these cool
They're right next to
things were
France.
made by Gale Force 9. They made some pretty sweet shit back when this was a game. They sold lots of D&D swag back in the day. There they go. See, I got bloodied. I got dead guys. I got area bursts.
Oh, cool.
Like I could have put that down and went, oh look, here's the burst for your.
Yeah.
I just forgot I had it.
Yeah.
Okay, but there was some cool stuff back in the day. Now it's all collector's items, and I don't bother buying it because nobody plays 4E. So,
True. It's true.
It's not a bad game. I'm actually enjoying it.
I kind of dig the tactical element, but you notice the encounters do take a long time.
Yeah. For being oversimplified. And most of the game we've been playing is combat now, which I don't
Yes,
enjoy.
and that's
Yeah,
something that Jim pointed out about the Living Greyhawk, Living Forgotten Realms
Yeah.
modules is they're very, fight. After the game, I'll tell you about a module I played at the North Texas RPG Con that just got published that felt like old D&D. It had like puzzles, like there are 4 levers on the wall and 2 of them are up and 2 of them are down, and you had to like figure out what to do. And these modules don't have things like that anymore. If they would turn that into a skill challenge, right? Like, can I roll my Arcana to figure out which way to throw the module or throw the levers? Okay, roll it. But in the old days, we just have to get electrocuted and shit.
Yeah, no, with combat, I like doing combat, but I like an opportunity to do something that's creative and different in combat if I can. But not the sake of the party. But I don't like it when it's the majority of the thing.
Right, and this, especially the League play modules. The League play modules were combat.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
So, back to where we were. The zombies
I'll do
were
the
about
Halo
to act.
all day long. But
The Ash Zombies! They go die! One of them is trying to grab... Well, one of them has you grabbed and is trying to pound. That's gonna hit, though. That was a 19 on the dice with a +6, so
Nice.
25. You're not prone anymore, which is good. Oh, look, I get to warm up my D12. 3. That is 11 damage.
Ouch. I would too.
All right, the other Zomboni.
can we tell he's in a
he's in
two-ish
bad
state?
Yeah, you can tell he's in a bad state. And that's one of the things I did like about the bloodied mechanic that I kind of keep for some of my other games is I don't like telling people how many hit points a creature has, but I don't mind telling them it looks a little ragged. He looks like he's having a hard time staying on his feet. He's got a gaping flesh wound, or something like that. So I kind of the bloodied mechanic is something I've kind of kept. But things don't tend to have quite this many hit points in 5th edition. So...
Oh, dang it.
All right, the other zombie. That's right. I distracted myself. That is a 16. That is going to hit with the +6. But it will do less damage because it has not grabbed you. But that's still enough. 12 damage.
-10.
Okay, so... what happens is on your turn, you start making death saves. If you fail 3 before something else happens, you're dead.
What can I do for him? Anything?
You can move in and make a heal check. If you make a successful heal check, DC 10 or better, he can pop a healing surge and recover.
Okay.
But if he fails 3 death saves before that happens,
And if I fail, does that count towards his failures?
no, it just means another round goes around in which he could fail a death save. But, as we said earlier, while he's making the death saves, if his die comes up a natural 20, he kind of recovers on his own. You get 1 hit point back, and you can get back to your feet. Generally, that's time you limp off and go find the cleric. But, for some reason, it works with vampires, too, but that's a different thing. There was a vampire character class for 4E for a while.
How'd that work?
Sunscreen.
Very interesting. They went with kind of the anime Vampire Hunter D treatment, where if you wore a really heavy cloak and pulled up a hood.
No.
But the vampire had like 3 healing surges, but all their vampire powers were powered by healing surges. So what you had to do to play the vampire was the resource game. every combat you had an attack that would steal a healing surge from a bad guy. And so you had to remember to do that, because if you didn't, you'd use all your fancy vampire abilities and
That
then
sounds
die.
cumbersome.
So
So he was just taking. So
it was not a class for someone who doesn't want to learn rules.
the cloak thing you just mentioned. So
Yes.
David goes, well, you could be taken out by a strong wind, right? Which is awesome. Which is why all the vampires live here, because it's never winds. Get it?
Aww.
Right? Because you said that's called Never Death. So it's like a trend here.
That's why there's no vampires in Johannesburg, because they bless the rains down in Africa.
That makes a lot of sense. That's great when you get a laugh for the producer. That's awesome.
Okay. So
That's pretty good.
you are in the
was
process
terrible.
of dying, and
I am in the process of dying.
I'll be spending my next action trying to stop my colleague here from dying.
I think that you may do a little bit better if you clear one or two of those guys out or something.
You sure?
well, yeah, they
I
are
got-
all
I got
kind
3
of
rounds.
bum rushing you.
All right. Well,
If you die too, then there's going to be no one to pick us up.
so I will clear his bowling pin line there. Then I guess. Can't use your second wind to come back from death.
Already used it. Dang it. Yeah.
I thought I had a little marker
That was
for
that was
dying,
what
but I
kept me
don't
from
see it.
not
Oh,
dying
well.
the first hit.
Can I do psychic damage to undead?
Yes,
You can.
I think you can. Let me see. Unless it specifically says they are
Immune to psychic damage.
immune to psychic damage, immune disease poison,
Okay.
immune disease poison. So yeah, they
Okay.
they have a complete immunity to disease and poison, but nothing to psychic damage.
All right.
All right.
All right, so that was the Gravehound. No, that was the zombies. Back up to Brandis, who has to make a death save. 10 or better.
No!
That is one
9.
failed death save. That was a very good Mark Hamill right there. No. All right, the Gravehounds. The Gravehounds, having killed Brandis, are now coming. Or I'm sorry, Gravehound singular. Odd thief, even wizard, even. The Gravehound bites at the wizard. That's a 10. That's gonna miss. So 17. You have an AC of 18.
I have an AC of 17.
Oh, is it 17?
Yeah.
Oh, well then the Gravehound hits. And does 6 damage.
Okie dokie.
Roar.
Roll. All right.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Okay. The other Gravehound is dead, and now it is Thea's turn.
Right. What's closest to him, the skeletons or the dog?
The dog's attacking me.
Dog is attacking Lucan.
All right.
Zombie attacking Lucan. This zombie could go either direction,
He's probably going to attack me.
and then this zombie's over here.
probably gonna
I'll
attack
get
you.
the closest zombie I can get to that's near.
All right. Might I suggest
Kill the grave.
swing around and hit this one, or this puts you in a terrible spot. But if you go here, you can get your sneak attack damage.
Kill the Greyhound. Kill him.
But that, look, they can still attack him while he's dying and making death saves, can they not?
They could. They probably won't.
Yeah.
He's not a threat
Because
at the
of your
moment.
good graces, or because?
Well, because he's not a threat at the moment. They're going to kill the things that are threats.
He's officially dead to them.
because that's more hexes too. I mean, that's well within my 7, right?
Oh yeah, you could go for that one.
So if I went to that side, because I also got something here that says tumbling attack.
Oh.
You can shift 3 squares. The next time you hit an enemy with a melee basic attack, this turn you deal 3 extra damage to the adjacent.
So if you were silly enough to go here, you could shift this far. 1, 2, 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have combat advantage here, and after you hit this one, you could do some damage to the zombie. Or you could shift here and do the same kind of thing, but you wouldn't get your unless you give yourself combat advantage by using Lucan to set it up here or here. You're just going to be dealing that d6 plus 6.
I wanted to do that not to the hound and the skeleton. I would have liked to have done that to both skeletons instead of a skeleton and the hound. The 2 that were attacking.
Right. I don't see a place where you could set that up.
There's no flanking.
Yeah.
There's only a hound and a zombie.
You could flank
that you
here
can flank.
or here. And that's the only 2 spots you can flank.
All right.
Because he's dead, effectively. He is laying there bleeding out, so he can't grant you combat advantage. Only the wizard can.
Okay, then I'll just grab the hound in front of me for now, because I don't want to be flanked by 2 skeletons.
Okay, make the attack. Oh.
I take it I don't get my sneak attack.
No.
Not on this one, no. So 15 plus 11 is 26.
That is a hit. Roll damage. It's a d6 plus 6, is it not?
Yes, not 3d6. Sorry. So that's 12.
Nice. That takes a good chunk out of that hound. It is not yet bloodied, but it does take a good chunk out of it.
Yikes.
That brings us to the wizard.
Really?
Beguiling strands. Each enemy in blast plus 5 versus will 4 psychic damage. It's a close blast, so it's only 5. So I can get the zombie and the hound on me, right?
Dude, it's a close blast 5.
Yeah.
That's this area. So
Oh, I can get them all.
5 by 5.
I can get them all.
So boom. Yeah.
You could actually get all of them if you shifted it over.
You shifted over, yes.
Yeah.
You could get all of them.
Yeah.
Right.
So
It's just the enemies. I can cast it on myself, and I won't get hurt.
So roll attack. The Gravehounds, and you said it's against will?
Yeah, it's versus
Excellent.
will. And you slide the target up to 5 squares.
It's against you, Will Wheaton.
So this guy's got a will of 11.
1, I miss.
All right. This guy's got a 13.
15 a hit.
That's a hit. This one's got an 11
15 hit.
and an 11.
1 and a miss.
All right. So these 2 hit.
Nice.
Does anything happen on a miss by that spell description?
Doesn't say you get half damage.
Okay.
So those 2 get 4 psychic damage, and I'm
they
going to
get
push them
pushed.
5 units away, right there.
Boom. So each of them takes 4 psychic damage.
Which equates to what in 4th edition?
Just damage.
Yeah, it's
They
just
might be immune to psychic damage.
it's just straight damage. But yes, like Jim said, some creatures are immune to it. Some creatures are vulnerable to it, and would then
Okay,
take
so but
more.
it's the same with physical damage here, not like psionics,
Right.
where it's
Right.
You know,
just a classic
Go
damage.
Yeah,
crazy
it's just
or-
basically the damage was caused by a psychic burst from the wizard.
Makes
Got
a
it,
shock
okay.
to their brain. I was assuming that because they were undead, they couldn't be affected by psychic damage. But whatever.
Okay, so they got pushed way back over here.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, the zombies now attack.
No.
1, 2, and attack. It is grabbing.
Can I defend against the grab?
19 against Thea.
18. You
So
can't defend
it
against the
grabbed
grab?
you. Boom. 10 damage. You can try to break the grab on your turn.
Oh, on my turn. Okay, which I will.
So 10 damage. And this zombie shifts and attempts to grab the wizard. 18. So that's a grab for 10 damage.
Do you have that shield still?
Well, it's per encounter. It's not at will.
Has it already been used once this
I've already
this
used
encounter?
this encounter,
Okay.
yeah. 10 damage.
10 damage.
That means I am at 0.
Uh-oh.
Jesus.
This is rough.
This ain't good, fellas, because I'm at 8.
Do I still get to do something at 0?
No, at 0 you're unconscious and making death saves.
All right.
So that was the zombies. Brannis, death save.
Come on, 20. No, but I got a 16.
Okay, so you made that one. All right, the Gravehound. There's only one left. Oh, God. Well, the only valid target it's got is Thea. And it is speed 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 19. That's going to hit.
18.
You're saving up all those 19s for the end.
Where was that damage again? 1d6 plus 5? 10 points.
-2. I still have a surge.
We're all
point left,
dead.
but
Oh! Wow. That's a
We're wide.
TPK.
Yep. Good. I'm glad one finally happened.
That's a TPK!
Yay,
Time to put a notch in your bedpost.
Yep.
Well, now, What should have happened was we should have saved some of these more powerful spells
Oh,
for the...
total player knockout.
No, it's TPK.
Total party kill.
Yeah.
I like mine better.
To be honest, that's kind of a cool way to say it. What were you saying, Jim?
Well, we kind of I should have saved this Fountain of Flame
Mm-hmm.
instead of using it early on in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's part of the resource management of 4th edition. What they wanted to do was avoid, and they've kept this in 5th edition. It's something that they kept. You know, they kept the things that worked. They threw away the things that didn't when they did the new editions, and they kept the idea of powers that refresh between fights rather than refreshing every time you sleep.
Could I have used this?
Second wave?
-2?
No, you got
Not to come back from -2. No, you would have had to have used it before you dropped.
TPK.
That was what got me too. Like I either could stand up and try and get away, or stand up and heal myself.
Right.
And when you've got like 3 hit points left.
Well, like when I had 8, could I have done it then? If I had a chance to act.
Yes, if you'd had a chance to act. So,
Which would have done what?
What we got is
Like-
actually a pretty neat system. I was really appreciating this game, but you had a lot of neat accoutrements.
yes, there were a lot.
These didn't come with a standard game.
These little markers actually came with the Dungeon Master's kit. So a little bit of background on 4th edition. When it originally launched, it launched in hardcover books like every other version of AD&D, and it didn't come with all the little greeblies. Toward the end of 4th edition's service life,
It was about 4 years.
which it was one of the shorter editions because it wasn't all that popular.
2008 to 2012.
It might have gone on a little longer than
I
that.
think 5th edition just came out.
5th edition came out in 15. It's been around for a while now.
Is it? Maybe I just haven't been paying attention.
2008 to 2015, yeah.
But what they did right before the end was they relaunched 5th edition with these smaller handbooks, and it was called D&D Essentials. And that's where these came in. Using the old Larry Elmore art, like you called out, and the red box with the old artwork and everything. Yeah. They were trying to address some of the complaints about 4th edition and make it feel more like old school D&D. And it kind of succeeded a little, but there were still a lot of people that didn't like the action economy because, like you pointed out, you save some of those big ones for the boss fight, right?
Yeah.
And
but it's.
I like that though. I like the resource trade.
It's always been my experience that when you get about 12th level, things bog down into gigantic. A 5-hour combat.
Yes.
Because everybody's got so many hit points, and you have so many options that you keep speculating. And what if I do this? What if I do that? And it takes a long time just to run through combat.
That was one of the reasons that one of my best friends, one of the 2 best men at my wedding, he asked me to teach his daughters this version of D&D because he wanted to teach them resource management and tactical thinking.
Huh.
And it was just, he's an Army guy. He wanted his girls to learn how to think Army, and so he wanted them to learn how to do all this. And it does lend itself. In my head, this isn't D&D, but it's a damn good Final Fantasy role-playing game. Like
why would you compare it to Final Fantasy?
Well, the more modern Final Fantasy games, maybe the analogy doesn't hold up. But when I've played that first Final Fantasy cartridge on the NES back in the late 80s, you built your party and you had fighter and thief and the standard characters. But there were 3 different types of wizard. The white mage was basically a cleric. The black mage was basically your wizard. And then they had a red mage who could do a little of both, but not quite as well, and do a little fighting on the side. And so the game was a very tactical thing. You only had 4 slots in your party, so you had to decide what classes you were going to take.
Right,
and then when you entered into combat, you had to think about how you were going to use those characters to their maximum potential. And 4th edition is very much like that.
They had certain things ready.
One of the things that I initially really disliked about 4E when it came out, but when they reformatted it into these books, I went, yeah, okay, you've got a point. And was that The DM's guide for this version of the game tells you, thou shalt have 5 players. Thou shalt have 5 players of the same character level. Like, unlike old D&D where your levels were all over the place, the math of this game breaks if everyone's not the same level. Because it's written so that each party should have these roles. The controller, that's the wizard. Notice how you were able to take the magic missile and just wipe the minions off the board, right? That's the wizard's job in 4th edition, is to control the battlefield. And then the fighter's job is to absorb damage and protect the rest of the party. You'll notice that the fighter doesn't land as much damage as the thief if the thief is using the backstab properly. So everybody is crunched into these roles, which initially I kind of hated. But then I thought about the way we played D&D before and realized they're just putting a name to something we've already been doing for 20 years. You know, the fighter was always the meat shield. The cleric was always the healer. And the wizard was always the guy with the fireball. They just gave it a name. But it sounded to my ear a little too much like World of Warcraft. Who's our DPS guy? Who's our AoE guy? You know,
you have I think one of the things that kind of puts it in that mode is, that would be very much like Final Fantasy or World of Warcraft, is you are only interacting with the enemies. There's not environmental interactions as much.
Yeah.
I mean, at least with the module that we played, there was no. I mean, you did the one thing with the rope, but if you would have been doing that, I think if at like a league play or something like that, they may have just gone, you need to use one of your skills. You know, it's like leaning too far back on that, where you couldn't do kind of cool
What about
stuff.
the rain? What about the slipperiness?
And that depended a lot on the league play DM.
Yeah.
When I was running, there was a guy at the next table over named Kevin Beck, and I really respected the way he ran his table because he would let players do that even though if it wasn't in the module. And he would also, crazy son of a bitch, would also build 3D dungeon models of that week's module. So Wizards of the Coast, just like with Living Greyhawk, right, would just hand you, this is the modules for the next 3 months. Have a nice day. And Kevin would go home and build. And if there was environmental things you could do, he would build that into his model. Like the example I used earlier was one of Kevin's models. There were these braziers full of coals, and if you made a strength check, you could dump one over and do 2d6 damage.
That was the thing I liked about Unearthed Arcana. The first publication was that the barbarian had an improvised weapon.
Yes.
And you could pick up like a dinner table and fling it. Or you could tear down the tapestry and cover the, entangle them in the heavy tapestry. That's what the environmental
Pocket sand.
Yeah, yeah.
Pocket sand.
Yeah, all kinds of improvisational things that gave the game a little more visual color. Because now it's almost like you're visualizing the particle effects from any computer game.
Yeah.
So here's what I don't get. Question, okay? Because one of the things they changed, a couple of things in D&D they changed that I didn't like. One, in 2nd edition when they introduced like skills and proficiencies, right?
Yes.
And then they kind of, Pathfinder got it right, borrowed from 3.5, where you have actually 2 types of things, right? Because feats and skills make sense. There are things you innately know, and that makes sense to fall in that category, and things you improve with over time, your skills, right? And then they kind of muddied that again. And then they made, experience points used to be different. You go up a level's different per class, and they try to even that out, which I think is a mistake. Yeah. And then multi-class, D&D actually never did this, but I would have liked to have seen, you can do fighter mage, right? And every class has different ranges, right? It's harder to go up as a fighter as it is for magic user or whatever, right? Let's say you're a fighter mage, and you choose to spend this next experience points on mage. Well, then the fighter becomes more expensive, and the longer you spend it on mage, the more expensive fighter becomes because you've neglected it.
I get what you're saying.
Right.
And they kind of
but
do
they generalize all that.
In 3rd edition and 3.5, the multi-classing mechanics were like that in that if you were multi-classed and your classes were more than 1 level apart from each other, there was an XP penalty to continue leveling, unless it was what they called a favored class. And for instance, elves had wizard as favored class, so you could do whatever you wanted with wizard. I get what you're saying about that. It's just a Pathfinder. Any game that still uses the 3.5 and 3.0 base attack bonus progression For example, a fighter gets 1 point of attack bonus every single level, right? So a 10th level fighter has a +10. A 20th level fighter has a +20.
And then a cleric gets every other level.
Well, yeah, but I'm
And
actually,
a
I'm
thief
not
gets
sure.
every
I
third
was actually,
level.
referring to the bonus and penalties received from those. I'm talking about like it takes 2,000 XP to get to second level for one class. It takes 3,000 for another class.
Right, in older D&D.
So whatever benefits there are, proficiencies or bonuses or penalties, right? That they should be different per class because it's and with multi-class, like you were talking about, whether it's favored or not, there should be some disparity between when you concentrate on one class versus the other. I think 4th edition, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I could be wrong, was the first one where they evened those out, where they said everybody's on the same XP scale.
That was 3rd.
That was 3rd?
3.0 they did that.
Then I'm digging on 3rd.
And in 4th, there really was no multi-classing. There was,
That sucks.
but it's like multi-classing in name only.
Yeah.
You picked up a multi-class feat that gave you 1 or 2 abilities of the other class, but mostly you were still your original class. And they did that because the classes were built entirely differently. Like one of the things you notice about the mage as the mage levels up is you're really always going to have a very similar amount of spells you can throw. Because as you go up in levels, you will replace the crappy little spells with bigger spells and bigger spells and bigger spells, so that you don't get the kind of choice paralysis someone playing 1st edition with a 3-page spell list gets. And that was one of the ways they were trying to streamline the game a little bit, but a lot of people didn't like that either, because you're kind of having to trade in your old abilities to get new abilities. And traditional D&D players don't like to do that.
And then what happens when you have abilities that are not like necessarily combat specific?
Well, and that's something else.
And the nuances are important about
these
this.
characters do have what are called utility powers, which are things you can do that are not combat specific. But like you noted, 90% of the things in this game are combat.
Tactical, yeah.
Like
It's a big tactical.
it is a very big tactical game.
Yeah.
And it's all about the resource management and the tactics on the battlefield. Like the Necromancer had that ability that could pull people. And so there's lots of abilities in the game that allow you to manipulate where people are standing. And that becomes important when you're setting up combat advantage, especially for, like, your character became a Cuisinart when you when you had combat advantage. And there's a lot of that. But some of it was a little silly. There was a thief ability that was introduced called... what was it? I can't remember, but it was one of the thieves' at-will abilities. You attacked with your sword, and if you hit, the opponent goes prone. But there was no limitation on the size of the opponent.
So you could make a dragon.
I just made a
And I saw it happen.
Yeah.
There was the D&D game day event that came before this one, before Neverwinter was the thing. Because what they would do with League play during this time period was every 3 months there would be a new storyline. And so players would come to your table, they'd create first level characters. For the first month, everybody's first level, then second level, then third level, and then you start over again with a different game world and different first level characters. So we went through Dark Sun, and we went through what they called the Points of Light campaign, where they had this world, but only very little of it was detailed. And so the DM could basically do whatever they wanted with it, but here's the cities where you get started. And there was a really great campaign that came out for 4th edition that never got the attention it deserved because it was for 4th edition. It was called The Reavers of Harkenwold. It was pretty much a retelling of the old Slaver series with the Iron Ring Slavers. It was a great campaign, but it was very tactical heavy, so a lot of people didn't play with it. But every 3 months it was a new setup. And so we got to play through a lot of worlds, but you never got past 3rd level. And it was a little frustrating for the players. But during that game day, I had some players come in with the new thief that had in fact, it might even be Acrobat's Trick, Unbalancing Trick. Yes, this is it. You can shift up to 2 squares. The next time you hit an enemy with the melee basic attack this turn, you knock it prone. They kept proning this dragon. And it was a small dragon because that was something else they did in 4th edition. Remember I was saying it was all mathematically based? So the reason that in the DM's guide they tell you have this many players is because everything was mathed from the beginning.
Don't you think any DM worth his salt, rules or no, would just say
You
no,
can,
you can't do that
you
to a dragon.
can. Well, yeah, exactly. But when you're doing league play, you're pretty much beholden to
The players will complain.
So what would happen is the rogue
are nuts.
Yeah, but it's league play. So.
the rogue would run up and prone the dragon. So the dragon would have to use its move action to stand up.
Right.
Now the dragon has two choices: use the other move action to actually go somewhere or attack. And so anytime the dragon tried to reposition itself, the rogue would just run up and prone it again. And so the dragon is like, do I attack this rogue or do I get out of this crappy situation where these other characters are? So they managed to take the dragon out by basically status locking it. They kept prone. And so it is.
I have no
I
respect.
feel like he's flying now, so okay.
Yeah.
Breath weapon.
So I have no respect for a player that would argue that, even in a league. I think it's stupid.
Well,
it's like a field mouse hitting you with a toothpick.
Did I ever tell you guys the story about the owlbear whip? So we were doing, it was the first year that my club ever did Extra Life, which is a charity, right? And you're supposed to play a role-playing game or any game. It started out video games, but they do RPGs now for 24 straight hours, and people pledge money for you to play the game, just like being on a cancer walk or a run or something like that. And so we're doing this game, and it's members of our group, but we're playing at Dragon's Lair, and this guy and his girlfriend wander over and ask if they can join, and one of the players like, yeah, sure, we got extra chairs. This guy was a heavy-duty league player. He was playing in I want to say Living Forgotten Realms or whatever, and so he assumed I was running a league table, and he started doing things that were pissing off the other players. I was running the old Keep on the Borderlands module, right? Because go with the classics, and so they're sitting in the middle of the wilderness. They had just come out of one of the caves from the Caves of Chaos, and they backed into the woods, and they were kind of licking their wounds and getting ready to decide where to go next. And he's sitting there erasing things off his character sheet and writing a bunch of this stuff. One of their players goes, what are you doing? And he's like, selling the shit we found. And the guy's like, we're not in town. He's like, I know, but it's all worth half in the DMG or in the player's handbook. And all the other players stop and look at him.
Just play a video game.
And I'm like, and at that point, I heard what they were talking about. I look up and I was like, you guys aren't anywhere near town. And he's like, yeah, but everything's worth half cost in the player's handbook, right? When you get to town, you can certainly try to sell your things. He got it in his head that he was going to keep the treasure from that game and take it back to his league table. And I'm like, we're not running a league game. No league DM is going to let you do this. And he tried to take the entire party on this side quest. He was like, I want to make a magical whip. Well, you're going to need a masterwork whip before you can enchant it. Well, what can I make a masterwork whip? Well, it would have to be a magical creature. I'm just throwing this shit out to get him to shut up. And he's like, is an owlbear a magical creature? Yes. Okay, an owlbear is a magical creature. Guys, that owlbear that we didn't kill, let's go kill it. I want the hide from the owlbear. And everybody's like, dude, this is a one-shot. You're not taking... Everybody at the table was getting really mad at this guy. And it's like, seriously, you're going to hold up 8 other players so you can go get your whip that you can't use anyway when you get back to your league table. But
I would have just given him, like, here's your whip.
Here's your whip.
Here's your whip.
No.
You go take it over there.
To whom it may concern...
That's when you write a little note, you go like...
There's an owlbear whip.
When Douche Canoe isn't looking, I lop off his head with my